Welcome, welcome. Tonight we stand at an exciting crossroads for the Coalition of Independence, a movement built on courage, integrity, and unwavering belief that politics exists to serve the people. It is my privilege to unveil the shadow ministers and leaders who will speak truth to power, fight for justice, and hold those in office accountable. These are our voices of experience, vision, and action, ready to challenge the status quo and champion the needs of every citizen. This moment is more than a reveal. It is a statement that independence is strength, that collaboration is power, and that together we can shape a future that works for all. Please join me in welcoming our shadow ministers and in celebrating a brighter, bolder path forward for the Coalition of Independence. But before we get into all of that, I want you to stand as we open in a word of prayer by our national chaplain, Mr. Farrington.
Shall we pray? Abba, which art in heaven, we hallow your name. We adore you, honor, and appreciate you, recognizing the fact that it is you that had brought us to this very strategic time and season that we are in. And as we've come to this event this evening, we know that you are here in the presence of your Holy Spirit. You said where two or three are gathered, touching anything in your name, there you are in the midst to bless. We thank you for being here. Thank you for your seal upon this very evening. Everything that is done, everything that is set forth to be done this evening, we sanctify it unto you. Let your divine will and purpose come forth. Let your order be established in the earth realm. And may it be established through these that you have chosen for this time and this season, those that you have raised up for this time and season to bring this country to the next level that you would have them to be. We sanctify every candidate. We sanctify them in the name of Yahshua. We sanctify them to your will, your divine order, and your purpose. Thank you for your holy anointing. And let your seal be upon this evening and this event. Let your seal be upon every individual that you have appointed here this night, that you would be glorified. We thank you for the outcome of this event. And we thank you that your way and your will shall be done, and our wills and our ways done away with, that you would be glorified. Bless individually those of us that are here, those that may be on our way. And we thank you for the leadership of this organization that you have raised up. Thank you for the vision of this organization. Thank you, Father, for you are indeed leading us into a new realm where your people can rejoice and you can be glorified. This we ask in Yahshua's name. And we say hallelujah, hallelujah. Bless Yahweh.
Could we continue to stand for the national anthem of the Bahamas? Please. I don't know about you, but every time I hear that, I feel a sense of pride. I feel a sense of, I love being a Bahamian. I don't know about you in the audience, but I love being a Bahamian and I love this country, the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. If you don't mind, join me in saying the pledge of our country. I think it would be fitting for this occasion. So if we could put our hands over our left breast and we will say the pledge. I pledge my allegiance to the flag and to the Commonwealth of the Bahamas for which it stands, one people united in love and service. Thank you so much. You may take your seats. This is an exciting occasion. I don't know how many of you out there are excited in radio land, in our social media land. Everywhere we go, we want to know what the coalition is doing in the Bahamas. I think people want to know what the Coalition of Independence is doing. They don't want to know about the PLP and the FNM, in my opinion. I've surmised that. They want to know what the Coalition of Independence is doing, where they are walking, where these people are going, what is happening with this quote-unquote third party, the third big party, the Coalition of Independence. I don't know if you're excited to be a part of the Coalition of Independence, but I am. You don't sound very excited, and I hope the people in Radio Land and our social media, YouTube, Facebook, I hope you're excited to be a part of this great God movement. We have a lot of people to unveil tonight. Well, not a lot, but we have enough, and we're not going to keep you very long because we want them to have the time so that you can get to know them a little bit. You can get to understand who these people are. We're not just the Lincoln Baines crew. We have a great slate of candidates who are strong, who are passionate, who have put themselves there, and who have put themselves out to work for you, the Bahamian people. We work for the Bahamian people. It's not the next way around. And we are grateful for those people who said, I will do it. Take me. God send me, I will go. Like Moses, they said, I will go. And we believe that God is the center of this party, this organization. He is the center of everything that we do. So the next person I'm going to call, of course, we know him as being that person being out there all the time. Everywhere you look, you're going to see Lincoln Baines on a meme. You're going to see him you're going to hear him on a song. You're going to hear him wherever you're going to hear him. But we know, and everybody knows Lincoln Baines. 5 years ago, 10 years ago, maybe you might not have known who this person was. But now I think even the baby at the breast knows who Lincoln Baines is. And tonight I'm going to invite him to share with us his vision and to share with us what is he going to do as whatever shadow. I'm not going to say it. It's a surprise. Okay, they said to hold it back and give you the suspense. So I'm going to hold it back because I kind of think people know where he's going to be as a shadow minister. And I wish you would put it in the comments, and I want to see who is correct. But I want him to say after the fact where he will be as a shadow minister. So I don't know where our leader is, our competent leader, our strong leader, the person that goes out and he fights in the midst of every situation. He does not stand down. That's one thing he does not do. He's not afraid to stand up in the faces of anybody and speak truth to power. The PLP, the FNM, whoever you are, he stands for truth. And he stands for justice, and he stands for you and I. Give him a round of applause. Our leader of the Coalition of Independence, Mr. Lincoln Baines. And they say, come on down. We're going to give him a second. It's okay. We can do that. We can give him a moment. But I'm really excited about tonight to know where everybody is going to go. I think we have about 5 shadow ministers tonight, and I know these people are competent. I know these people are very, have vision. I think that's important for our country, someone to have vision and people to have vision to know exactly where we're going and what we're doing as a people. But I think if I'm correct, that we have a video behind me that is going to be played, and then he's going to come on down after that. So if you can turn yourself and turn your eyes and all of that and pay attention to the video that's being played, we're going to get an idea of where Mr. Lincoln Baines is going to be as the shadow minister in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas under the banner of the Coalition of Independence. Thank you so much.
Lincoln Bain is a Bahamian who loves God and loves his country. I'm passionate about this country. I'm an author, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm an activist, I'm a businessman. Most of all, I'm a Bahamian who loves this country. We evolved into what the COI is today. We are a group of Bahamians who saw that the country was failing, that the politicians have failed us. And so we decided as qualified Bahamians that we have to do something. We can't just sit there forever and let these same politicians continue to be cycled over and over and continue to fail us. And so we decided it's time to do something. We decided that it was time to put Bahamians first. We were tired of seeing Bahamians last, being victimized and left out every single time. It's time for something different, and that's why the COI. The COI means Bahamians first. National security and immigration, it suits me well because I'm very protective of this nation, because I love it. I'm passionate about it. I have a background in law enforcement, and I know what it takes to fix this country. We can get rid of crime. There are a lot of people who think that crime will never go anywhere. No, we can get crime to a point where it's so insignificant that we can have a country that's a paradise, a country that we can walk the streets again, the way it was back in what we call the olden days, where you could probably even leave your doors open. We see other countries where that is the case. And we believe that we can actually eradicate crime in this country, and we have a vision to do so. Immigration, we believe that one of the major problems in this country is immigration. It affects everything. And we have the courage to get it done. We believe that we know how to solve the problem of immigration, and we're going to solve the problem with immigration. We have a vision for national security, for crime fighting, and we have a vision for immigration. And so, based on that vision, we're going to solve this problem. And I think that persons know that we have the passion and the courage and the will to fix those issues. Our vision for national security is to make sure that the people who are securing our country are properly taken care of. We're going to make sure that our officers, whether they're police officers, defense force officers, immigration officers, custom officers, or prison officers, whatever officers they are, that they are properly paid. They're going to be paid equally across the board based on their merits and their qualifications. That's the first thing. Police officers won't get paid more than defense force officers moving forward. But definitely, we're going to make sure that they are paid to the point where they don't have to struggle to make it from paycheck to paycheck. Where police officers, defense force officers, etc., don't have to make deals in order to survive. We are going to look out for them. We're going to make sure that they have all the benefits that they need. The proper insurance, we're going to restore the insurance of our police officers. Next, we have a strategy in our crime plan called the Python strategy. We are not going to wait for crime or criminals to come for our people. We're going to go for them. We're going to target the criminals wherever they are. We're going to target their funds, their money, their funding, and we're going to go after them wherever they are, and we're going to tighten on them until they are no more. But in order to end crime, you have to replace the activity with good activities. We are going to put initiatives in place to power our young men and women so that they don't have to resort to crime. Many people resort to it because they feel that there's no other way out. We're going to make sure that our Bahamians have the opportunities so that they don't have to go into crime. And we believe that alone, empowering our Bahamians with our natural resources, empowering them with opportunity, is going to end crime in and of itself, so that the stiffer penalties, etc., won't be needed, although they will be there and will be enforced. We are going to enforce the death penalty. We are going to treat gun crimes like it's a crime against humanity. We are going to be intolerant when it comes to these things. But in order to do that, we're going to empower our people. Our plan for immigration is simple. We're going to make sure that no one comes to this country illegally. If you choose to come here the right way, then you are welcome to come here the right way. But we are going to blockade our southern islands to make sure that no one comes across who does not belong in our country. And if you're coming across, we're going to know you're coming across, and you have to be allowed to come here. We're going to have strict penalties. If you come here illegally, you will go to jail, and you will serve a harsh sentence. You will help us build our schools. You will help us to farm. You will help us to build our offices. But if you come the right way, you can come and you can enjoy the Bahamas just like the rest of us. But we have a plan that's going to stop all illegal immigration. My name is Lincoln Bain. I'm the leader of the Coalition of Independence, and I am the candidate for the great constituency of Pineville.
Come here to introduce to you a group of talented Bahamians. Over the next few days, it's going to be 5 days of vision. You are going to be introduced to some people who are qualified to take us into the next Bahamas. Qualified Bahamians. Our country is broken. I think we can all admit that our country is broken. Every family island you travel to, it is broken. They can't give us good utilities. They can't give us ambulances or hospitals. They can't give us fire trucks. The simple everyday needs of Bahamians. It's time for something different. How many of you are ready for a new Bahamas? If we are paying a tax to drive on the road, shouldn't our roads operate properly? If we are paying tax for gas, shouldn't our roads operate properly? If we are paying property taxes, shouldn't we have proper utilities? If we are paying utility bills, shouldn't we have proper utilities? Well, whatever they have been doing, it doesn't work. Every election, they come and bring what they call a dream team before you. And they say, look at this qualified person, look at that person, look at the next person. And then they get in power and nothing happens. That's because it's not just about the candidate, it's about the party. And so if the party doesn't have a vision for this country, if their only vision is nepotism, if their only vision is kleptomania, then we're not going to have a country that works. Because all they are interested in is developing themselves and not developing this great nation that we have. We have so much potential. And so because our country is broken and not working, some qualified Bahamians decided to come together and be the change that we need to see. And I believe in all of them. And that is why we are here. And so today we're going to release the first 5 to you. And tomorrow there's more. And the day after there's more. And so between today and Thursday, we are going to show you how we can govern this Bahamas with qualified people for every area. Some areas will have 1 shadow minister. Some will have 2 shadow ministers because there are 41 persons and only so many ministries. And so some persons are sharing ministries and responsibilities. But what you're going to see is persons qualified in every area. What happens under the PLP and F&M is they usually have persons who are not qualified leading these ministries. There will never be a day again where you have someone like, I'm not hitting him, but I'm just showing you the reality, like a Renwood Wells being the Minister of Health. What does he know about health? We have a Jobette Colby running electricity. What does she know about electricity? Well, we're going to show you what we know about all of these areas that we are about to present to the Bahamian people. And you're going to be proud that real Bahamians, qualified Bahamians, have decided to come forth and be the change that we need to see. Are you all ready? And so, to all of you all over the Bahamas, it's time for something different. I am tired of going back and forth and seeing the failure every time. There's only so certain amount of times you can blame the politicians. You have to blame us because we continue to vote for the same people who have been failing us. We vote for the F&M. They say they can do better. They say better, better. And then they fail us. And so we swing hard to the PLP because they say it's a fresh wind blowing. And then they fail us. And then we swing back to the F&M because we say it's a matter of trust. And then he fails us. And then we swing back to the PLP. Again, because they say they can believe in Bahamians. And we see that that's a lie. And so we say, well, these said so bad, they just gotta go. And we end up with Minnis, who says it's the people time. But he didn't tell us which people it is. And so he let us know that in the end, he said, well, it was the rich people time, next time for the poor people. And so we swing hard to brave. And then all of us holding our heads in, oh Lord Jesus, what did we do? It's time for New Bahamas. That old one is broken. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to move forward. Let's get ready to do something different with our country. I hope you are ready. I am ready. Ladies and gentlemen, this is 5 days of vision. This is going to be amazing conversations about the future of this country. We're not here to scandalize any other party. We're here to let you know our vision. And so we invite all of you to go to Vision 2030, which is on our website. It has been. We launched our campaign with vision. We didn't launch it with parties, chicken and bear. We launched it with vision. And we showed you a vision for this country. And you know what? The FNM nor the PLP could go in those documents and find one thing wrong, one thing out of place, one thing that was impossible, one thing to criticize. So they decided to ignore it. And then they started going there and going shopping. And you started hearing them talk about things that we're dealing with. But we started with vision because we are the first party that has given a vision to this country. A manifesto is not vision. That's bullet points with goals that they never fulfill. We have given you the vision, the who, what, when, where, the how, of how this is going to get done. And so we are ready to transform this very Bahamas from vision. Are you ready? Well, I am more than ready. And so, ladies and gentlemen, every day we're going to present to you the vision and the people who are going to implement this vision. I am proud to say that we have evolved from an activist movement into a movement that is ready to responsibly take this country. I know the media has portrayed us as a rowdy group because they only show us when we are out there protesting. And so there are some people who think that that's all we do is row. No, they're not here with us every Sunday at 5 o'clock when we're educating the Bahamian public, when we're having the real conversations that no party has, when we're opening our phone lines and allowing any of you to come here and question us and poke holes in anything that we say or add to it. That's what we are. We are intelligent people with a vision. And the question is, are you ready? It's time for change. Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Bain.
Good evening.
And I'm happy to have you sit here with me, and we're going to have a conversation. Could someone move the podium, please? I just want to congratulate you on being the first political party to have almost an entire full slate ratified already. I want to congratulate the Coalition of Independence on that as well. Being the first. There's a lot of the first the Coalition of Independence has been, and I want to say congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
And thank you for being a trailblazer and a man of vision.
Thank you so much, and I want to thank those candidates for making the sacrifice to step forward. This is a very dangerous undertaking because all Bahamians know that there's victimization. They stop you at every turn, and these people sacrifice themselves. There are many of us who don't want to even be seen in a T-shirt. You know, many of us don't want to be seen at a protest, even though we stand for it. But these guys have taken the ultimate step by saying that we are going to replace these corrupt people in power. And so I want to give the credit to all of these candidates who have put country over self to make this happen.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I want to ask you a question. A lot of people see you out there, and like you said in when you spoke just a while ago, a lot of people see you as a rah, rah, rah. The aggressive, the this person, the that person. Tell me a little bit about yourself that is not the rah, rah, rah. Tell me a little bit about yourself that the regular Bahamian would not know about you. The person out there who has already, put put you as, they have projected you as something that you're not. Tell me a little secret that we could tell the Bahamian people.
Well, I think there's a time for everything. Jesus was a very sweet and calm person, and he told us he was the Prince of Peace.
Right.
But there was a time when he had to go in the temple and break up the place because there was a time for everything under the face of the sun. Martin Luther King was a peaceful person, but when you tell him we can't eat in a restaurant, he's going to say, okay, well, we're going in that restaurant, and you're going to have to come and arrest us. And when you give us bail, we're going back again. You're going to have to arrest us again. We're going to have to block some bridges, and you're going to have to bring your dogs and your pepper spray, and you're going to have to deal with us. But the change has never come in the history of the world unless there were some people willing to sacrifice willing to sacrifice their freedom or their life. And like they always say, you can't make an omelet without breaking some eggs. And so there's a time to stand up. There's a time to be professional, as we normally are. But there's also a time to stand up and speak out. If Pinlin and them didn't decide to throw the mace out of the house and be rowdy in the house and outside of the house, we would be in a different situation right now. If Milo Butler didn't have to get dragged down the stairs, lifted by 4 men, I've experienced that, and locked in the bathroom of the House of Assembly, if he didn't decide to stand up for us in that way, we wouldn't be where we are today. If Randall Fox wasn't arrested for sedition because of the things he was saying to them, I mean, the things I'm saying is nothing compared to what that generation said, but they had to be strong. But what they did was they've broken us as a people. They have taught us to be passive. Don't get in nothing, right? You need your little job. You got a mortgage to pay. Well, they're going to victimize you. So they've taught us to be so passive, and passivity is what allows them to take advantage of us, all right? And self-preservation is the breeding ground of corruption. Because we want to protect ourselves, we're not willing to stand up. That means that they can do anything they want to do because they know at the end of the day, we're not going to say anything. We can have a whole referendum and tell them what we want, and they can just go against the referendum of the people because no one is going to take them to court. No one is going to force them to do what they're supposed to do. They have kept us too passive. And our passivity has led to our family islands and our entire nation being underdeveloped. Wow. Because the only things that they do is what they can make money from.
Wow, that was a mouthful. And you're never a man that is, you are never lost for words. I've noticed that. I've noticed so many times that you go up there and you don't even have a script. You don't have anything. It's already been revealed that you are the Shadow Minister of National Security and Immigration. Now, we know a lot of Bahamian people see you as xenophobic, and you don't like this person, you don't like this particular, people, or that. Tell us something about that changed the minds. Tell us something that is different, because they already portray you as that person.
Yeah, I love all people. I'm a man. Christ is at the center of my life. I always put God first. I love all people. I cannot hate any individuals and see God. I love all human beings. But God is a God of decency and order. If you come to my country incorrectly, that's wrong, man. We don't want to go to your country incorrectly. Don't come to ours incorrectly. We have to do things properly. All right? And that's the gist of it. And people feel that because you're speaking out against wrong, that you're hating the person who's doing the wrong. No, we hate the wrong, not the person. Because we want you to come here the right way so that we can manage our country properly. We don't want persons coming here, and as you saw, we had to fight for a retired nurse who illegal immigrants pushed her off her land and threatened her. Wow. And we had to go there, and again, I had to go there and be dragged off by police because I was defending a Bahamian woman in this country. Mm-hmm. She went to the leaders of this country. She went to Minis, she went to Brave Davis, she went to all of the persons who lead this country, and they gave her no justice.
Wow.
And she came to me, all right, and we went out there ready to break down. We had a bulldozer and everything. They sent their corrupt police to stop us, to protect them. All right, the people who were doing wrong. We went there with the police. We do it the right way. And of course, now she has her land back again. All right? And so they didn't want to publicize that because they don't want to give us any credit for standing up and fighting, but that was just the right thing.
Right.
And so we love all people. When the earthquake happened in 2010 in Haiti, I got a plane. I filled that with supplies along with another person. And we took that plane, even though our government said they can't help Haiti because America has taken over the airport and taken control, and they've turned away other prime ministers in the air saying they can't land. We called the U.S. Army and told them, hey, you don't run Haiti. We come in to bring these supplies. They were like, come on down. We need all help we can get. So we don't understand what Ingram was saying. We went and we helped those people. I then continued to go there for the next 2 years, back and forth, helping, getting corn in my hands, helping to rebuild. You don't spend your own money and do that kind of thing for people that you hate.
Right.
And so the politicians are trying to put this message that we hate these people because we're standing up against wrong that is being doing. But what we hate is that these politicians are making money off these people. They are raping and robbing them, and this is a big industry for them. And so we're going to fix this. So we have a country that works properly. And we have the vision to solve the problems of immigration in this country. There will be no illegal immigration in the Bahamas. Zero.
Right.
In this Bahamas,
Right.
on my watch. No one will come here illegally.
I think we can see on social media and the various news stations what President Trump is doing to, what they say, make America great again. The immigration processes, ICE, all of that, what is going on in America, because he wants to seal or save the sovereignty of America for Americans. How do you feel about that? And how would we see it? As you, as the Minister of Immigration, what would you do as it pertains to, rallying up the troops to get, immigration, because we know it's a big issue, it's a major issue, and we want to know what are your plans, what is your vision for immigration in the Bahamas?
We applaud what he's doing to defend his country. If he's putting his country first and defending his country, that's what every leader should be doing. All right? Not that we agree with everything he does, but on that, that's what you should be doing.
Right.
You have to defend your nation. And so we're going to be doing the same in this country. And I think that we've had the PLP and FNM over the years fail us on immigration because both of them make money from this immigration thing behind the scenes. They sell a lot of papers and documents. You heard Fred Mitchell say that they sell $150 million worth of work permits. When I said that on a town hall meeting we had there, people were like, oh, that number sounds too big. That doesn't sound realistic.
Wow.
But then he came out and said it after I did.
Wow.
But they never revealed that to us before. Who are these $150 million worth of people? What are they doing? I don't see an Atlantis going up. I don't see a Bahama going up. I don't see all this work that they're supposed to be doing in this country. And so they are selling these work permits, it looks like, to just make sure these people have some papers so that if you stop them, you can't do anything with them. But I want to say this, that we're going to defend our borders. First of all, there's only one way to get here by sea, and that is to pass Inagua by the east or the west. And we're going to make sure we have the radars and we have the patrols, the drones, etc., to make sure that if you're coming through legally. That's very easy to do. They want it to be slack. We're going to make sure that we have the proper boats, etc., to get it done. Our immigration department is going to be on the level of ICE in the United States of America. Wow. They are going to be a force to reckon with. And we're going to support them, make sure that they're properly paid so no one has to take any money under the table from anybody.
Right.
They're going to be properly paid. All officers in this country are going to be paid on the same scale, whether you're a police officer, defense force, etc., same scale. And it's going to be elevated extremely to make sure that we don't have officers trying to make it from paycheck to paycheck and having to do things that is out of order. But they are going to have their own boats. Immigration is going to have, they're not going to depend on the defense force. They will have their own boats, their own bases, and their own supplies to make sure that they can protect our borders. We're going to enforce laws. We already have all the laws we need in place. But if you have good laws and bad lawmakers and people keeping the laws, it doesn't matter. All right? A strong gate with a bad gatekeeper doesn't help.
Right.
And so we're going to target anyone who would hire them illegally. And that's going to make sure that you're going to make sure those persons are straight.
Right.
We're going to target anyone who would house them. All right? You're going to be in big trouble if you house them. And we're serious with that. And so notice they're coming to us, not going right next door, because they know what would happen if they go next door. So they're coming where there's slackness, where they can pay for use corruption to destroy our country. And so we're going to fix that. If you come here illegally, you're going to go to jail, and you're going to be sentenced to hard labor. And you're going to help us build our country. All right? You're going to help us build our country. Since you want to come and work, you're going to work. All right? But if you come legally the right way as we're building this new Bahamas, you can come and help us build this new Bahamas. You will be a welcome part of society. You won't have to keep your money under the mattress. You can have a bank account. You can have a driver's license so you don't hit people's car and then break off running. You can have insurance. You're going to be a part of this society as you help us build this society. One strong thing that we're going to do that's very important in immigration, because I want to talk about national security too and crime. But one important thing that we're going to do, there will be no more naturalizations.
Oh, wow.
If you are not a Bahamian at birth, you will never become a Bahamian in our country.
Could I interject? What exactly is a Bahamian at birth? Could you explain that to our audience?
You qualify to be a Bahamian if you have a parent who's a Bahamian. All right? So as long as you have a parent who is a Bahamian, that makes you a Bahamian. All right? And so you are birth because of the DNA that was passed to you and the blood that was passed to you. And so that's really what it is. And so it's going to make it easy for persons to be able to be accepted into this country when they're born, but it's going to make it difficult for persons to, let me make this clear.
Please.
Someone can come from, just call it a name, Haiti.
Right.
Come to the Bahamas. After a few years of living here, they could be naturalized after 7-8 years or so. Be naturalized, and immediately they can run for prime minister.
Oh, wow.
In this country. They can run for member of parliament. They can take any office in this country. We've not thought of that.
Wow.
And so we can actually get pushed out. You see? Because majority rules. To protect ourselves, we're going to do what countries like Dubai, Qatar, and other countries have done. You don't get naturalized in those countries. Now, you can get permanent residency because you're there, but you will not vote and you will not run for high office.
Yeah.
And so other countries protect their sovereignty like that. That's the law in Haiti. You can't run unless you're an organic Haitian. They call it a Haitian of origin. All right? And own land and own a business. You got to do all those things.
Wow.
All right? And so they're protecting their sovereignty. I have no problem with that. But why aren't we protecting ours?
Yes.
All right? Why are we called xenophobic? Because we want to protect ours for us.
Right.
All right? And so that goes to anyone, the Chinese, the Americans, whoever. You won't become a Bahamian. All right? Now, you can become a permanent resident if you've been here for a certain period of time, contributing to our country, and you've become a good part of this nation.
Wow.
We welcome you to be here and be with us.
Wow.
All right? And so we have the laws already that we need, but now we're going to have the enforcer to enforce this law. And no one is going to break that law while I am Minister of National Security and Immigration. And just so you know, we're putting those two back together. They used to be together before, but since Brent Simonet got it, because that's the money, immigration is the money-making department, so Brent Simonet wanted that. But he didn't want the other responsibility. And so we're putting it back together because immigration is a serious national security threat in this country.
Absolutely.
And so I just want to say to all officers that you're going to have an ex-officer who's going to look out for you and put you first. Everyone who's entitled to their gratuity, your gratuity is coming. Because I can tell you, I didn't get mine either. Your gratuity is coming. Proper pay, proper insurance is coming. And we're going to make sure that you have everything you need to fight crime in this country, and we are going to get out of the way of the officers because we have the qualified officers to get this done. We just need to empower them. But the politicians keep meddling with these commissioners of police, as you heard some of them say recently, and that is the problem. We are going to let them do their jobs, and we're going to put the policies in place to empower them.
Right.
police officers will have all the tools they need
Yes.
and the power that they need to get this done.
Yes, I think that's very important. I think we need that. We need police officers to be in position to do what they need to do in the country and not be held by the politicians to do it their way or how they want them to do it or how they want them to move. It should not be like that. Yeah. That's two different estates, and I think we need to specify that and make that, put that in, do whatever we need to do. Another question. I have seen on social media, and I'm sure everybody else have seen on social media, we have seen officers taking bribes and all of these things. And I heard you say that you would make sure the officers are paid, their salaries are lifted, because a lot of people are hurting in this country. And of course, we know that bribery is wrong and all of those things are wrong. We do not condone that. However, people are hurting and people are finding innovative ways, even if it's criminal, to help their families, to help themselves. What do you have to say about that with the salary adjustments and the things that have to be done, especially for the people who protect and serve us? They put their life on the line every day for the Bahamian people. What do you have in mind for those people?
Well, as I said, we're going to properly pay them and make sure they have all of the perks that they need to do their jobs. It's sad where people are suffering so much in this country and that's true in all areas. And that includes government workers. Everyone seems to be paycheck to paycheck. You can't afford anything because of the bad policies that they have put in place. How do you put taxes on food? Even America, who loves taxes, does not tax groceries. When you go in a grocery store, you don't pay taxes on groceries. And so how do you put taxes on food for 4 years, rape us and rob us on taxes on food, and then come 4 years later and say, oh, I'm going to reduce it by 5%. As if you did something for us. No, you put it up to the 10%. And then how do you then come 6 months later and say, okay, I'm going to put it down to 0 because election come in. But I just want everyone to know that after election, VAT is going to go back to 15%. Everything I say comes to pass. Remember what I said to you.
Wow.
VAT, the F&M or the PLP, if you let them get in, VAT is going to 15%. Now, when it happens, don't cry if you let them get in, because you were warned. Don't cry, you take it. All right? Because they are going to do it. If you let them get in, they're going to bring income tax. That is coming. If you let them get in, don't cry, because you're voting for that. They're going to bring income tax. When I warned the persons that VAT was coming, as I was a radio host, the Prime Minister Christie denied it. Oh, we wouldn't do that to the people. That's what the IDB want. We're not doing that. And guess what? Within a few months, that January, we had VAT tax.
Yeah.
All right? The people let these politicians lie to them all the time. When I told people that they were going to increase NIB and we showed the corruption with NIB and how they're stealing all the money from NIB, people didn't listen. I even wanted the minister slip and said the same thing that I said. And the Prime Minister came and said, no, I would not let that happen. We'll not let it happen. And a few weeks later, we're raising NIB and it's going to raise incrementally until it gets to 25% of your salary. 25%?
Wow.
Any other country, they would have been rioting in the streets. And so I say all this to say that the cost of living is constantly increasing.
Yes.
And they are doing nothing about the price of groceries in the store because they make more VAT the way it is. So they don't have to raise VAT right now by letting everything be expensive. All right? And so they're tricking you. And so to those officers who do that, I think one of the main reasons is because they're not paid properly.
Yeah.
If they were paid properly, you couldn't bribe them. They wouldn't be asking you for $50, $150. Come on, man. No one would risk their career for $150, for $500. But when the baby can't hear, there's no milk.
Wow.
The baby can't hear, there's no Pampers. All right? They got to make things happen. And so what do you expect them to do if you're not paying them properly? And so we're gonna fix that for all of them. There will be strict laws in place in terms of crime. We have a Python policy that we're gonna stalk the criminals. We're not gonna let them stalk us.
Wow.
There's some people scared to go home at night. They don't know who's in the bushes, etc. No. We're going after the criminals. The government knows who they are. Didn't you hear the government say that they meet with the gang leaders? What you meeting with them for? It's illegal to be in a gang.
Yeah.
So if you meet with them knowing that they're gang leaders, that means you are entertaining the crime.
Yeah.
And so, no. We are going to end crime. We're going to go after them. We're going to go after their money. We're going to stop them. Wherever they are, we're going to find them. That's what they do in other countries. The DEA doesn't wait for you to go out there and do something. They stalk you. They tap you. They put officers undercover to see what you're doing. They go after the criminals. That's what we're going to do. You see any undercover officers around here?
No.
Infiltrating the criminals?
No.
Oh, we could be all over them.
Yeah.
All right, we just want you to know that. And so these policies, the policies of being aggressive against crime is going to help. But we don't want to just go after the criminals and put them in jail, because many of those persons who chose that lifestyle did so because there was no hope. There was nothing else to do. So the first thing we have to do is empower our people. So just like some officers are doing some things they shouldn't do to survive, there are some people who commit crimes because they feel they have no choice. And you might say, yeah, go sweep the street, you'll do whatever you have to do. But some people, if an opportunity comes in front of them, they're going to do what they have to do. So we have to replace bad habits with good habits.
Right.
And so by empowering our people, we are going to end crime.
Right.
There's no crime in any of those countries where they let their people benefit from their natural resources. You can go to Dubai, they don't even have a door on the store. You only know it's open or closed because you see no one is in there. You can go in there and you can take whatever you want out and walk away and go, but no one does that. You can leave your cell phone on the counter and come back 5 days later and they got that for you. Oh, you left your cell phone right there. And so that's because they are looking out for their people, and we're going to do the same thing for our people. So we're going to empower our young men. We are going to have so much youth programs that it's going to blow your mind. You'll have more about that later this week. But we're going to focus on youth programs because youth programs kept me off the street. When I was young, I grew up in Pinewood Gardens, all right? And so there was some rough streets. And a lot of my friends were taken astray. But I was saved from that because I was always involved in something, whether it was music, singing, playing organ or piano for the church, martial arts or track and field. I was always doing something. So it took me away from the streets. We are going to have a program that takes our youth away from the streets.
Yes, we need that.
No more idle hands. We are going to really spend a lot of money on that, including sports programs, et cetera, because it's going to benefit us in the long run.
Yes.
And so we can't go into details of all of these things now, but stay tuned when we have the final release of our Vision 2030, and you're going to hear the full details, the how, what, the when, the where, how, including some business plans of how we're going to do certain things.
Well, I know we have other people to interview tonight, but I have two questions to ask you. One, with our armed forces, are we going to raise the bar for those who are interested in being a part? Make sure we vet them properly, make sure we know, we do the correct background checks, all of that stuff, so we know who we have on these forces, one. And two, how do you feel about the $11 a month that you would save at the grocery store?
Don't be ungrateful. That's a whole 2-piece snack.
Yes.
Don't be ungrateful. You can't hit me with a tax and then after years take it back and say that you did something for me. You didn't do anything for me. You gave me $11, but how many $11 did you take from me? You can't take $11 from me for 4.5 years and then give it back to me for 6 months and say you did something for me. Think about that. So let's do that math. I like to do math. Let's do that math.
Please.
Let's do that math quickly.
Please.
I love maths. So let's do it. So $11 times
12, right?
No, it's more than 48. It's 4.5.
Oh, okay. So we're going to go with the whole 4.5 years.
Yeah, 4.5 years. So that's 54, right? So 54 times 11, that's $549 you took from me.
Wow.
All right? And so for the next, when is election? May. So from April 1st to May.
April 1st.
Right. April 1st to May. That's 1 month.
April 1st.
April 1st.
April 1st.
Yeah. So April 1st to May, which is 1 month, you get $11. After they took, and I believe election is in May. And even if it isn't, I mean, look at the disparity.
Yeah.
All right? They didn't do anything for us. They robbed and raped us.
Wow.
And so I just want to say this also before I go, you know, and you're going to talk to our natural resources experts. But 4 ships have gone out to measure our carbon credits. Our seagrass to get carbon credits from them. 4 ships. They were training the captains for the last couple of weeks. 4 ships. Remember those documents with $11.35 billion I talked to you about? This will help them to be able to access that. But they formed companies that is going to be taking this carbon credits from you. Remember I warned you. All right? They are going to be taking that money and it's going to go to them. And so once they measure those seagrass, they're going to have access to funds that's mind-blowing. And they're going to reap billions of dollars. I'm going to be speaking out against them. And so that's the Prime Minister, and I had Anthony Ferguson set up these companies, etc., and his associates, Alexio, and all these people. I just want to say to you that I'm going to fight them. So you're going to see them fighting me back. So don't be surprised. But I have to stand up for the Bahamian people because that's money that could pay off our debt. That's money that can build our hospitals and our schools and our roads and develop all manner of things that we're going to be doing that you're going to be hearing about this week. All right? And so with that, we could pay our teachers properly.
Yes.
Our teachers are going to be paid on par with the U.S.
Wow.
How do you stop brain drain? Pay them. What's the problem? Our police officers are going to be paid on par with the U.S.
Yes.
Pay them. My Lord. And so these are the kind of things that we're going to put in place.
I thank you, sir. I thank you for your vision. I thank you for this conversation, and I thank you for what you're doing in our country. Thank you. If you have anything else you would like to say to the Bahamian people, you have the floor for a couple of seconds because guess what? This is my show.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. You're doing a good job on your show. Isn't she doing a good job? Well, I just want to hear from the rest of these candidates. I let it out because I'm the leader. But of course, I want all of our police officers, custom officers, prison officers, etc. to know if you vote for change, you are going to have the prestigious jobs that you used to have back in the day. You're going to be truly officer and a gentleman. You're going to be proud of the money you make. You're going to be proud of the career paths. You're going to be promoted by merits, not by favor or by political favor, etc. You're going to get voted. You're going to get appointed by your merits. And so, if you want a better police force, you know what to do. If you want a better defense force, you know what to do. Your boats are going to be fixed all the time. Your boats won't have to be sent all the way back to Europe to get fixed. We have already started putting some plans in place and talking to experts from all over the world, and you're going to see our final version of Vision 2030 in short order. But to all of my people, you're going to have a safe Bahamas. A safe Bahamas. Crime can be solved. And I think it's important for some people for us to mention the death penalty will be back.
Wow. Wow. Yes.
And no one is going to stop that.
Yes.
No court anywhere in the world. Because the Privy Council only told them the conditions for doing it. But they don't want to do it, and that's why they're not doing it. All right? Because they are criminal lawyers. All right? And so they're not going to do anything that hurts their business. And so we're going to fix this. If you take a life, your life will be taken.
Wow.
It's simple as that. That isn't a lot of algorithms or any complicated math. Life for life.
Wow.
It's simple. All we have to do is define what the worst of the worst is in our law, and that's it. Life for life. But we cannot do that unless we have proper investigations.
Right, yes.
All right? We don't want anyone innocent being sent to the gallows. We're going to make sure we have proper forensic in this country, that we don't have to depend on any other nation.
Yes.
And therefore, we can have proper investigations. All of us watch it on TV and we see the forensic files and First 48 and this kind of stuff, and you see how they investigate. Well, we're going to do similar. We're going to do the same thing to make sure that if that person is being executed, that is a clear-cut case. All right? If the case is not clear-cut, then you can't take the life. You got to give them life in prison. But a clear-cut case where you can clearly see that this person murdered that child and left them in the bush, there's no way we're going to be feeding you for the next 50 years.
I love that for us. I love that for us.
So that's it. Thank you for having us. We want to hear from the rest of these candidates.
There you have it, the leader of the Coalition of Independents, Mr. Lincoln Bain, our Shadow Minister of National Security and Immigration. Yes. So, the next person up, because they're going to come on down, but I'm not going to call their name initially. We'll have the video play in the back after I would have said a few things about them. The next person has a bachelor degree in accounting from UB, and it was COB back in the day, if you remember that. Those of you who are longer would remember that. He's a CPA, and he works in auditing, which is something I don't know about. I'm going to learn about that tonight. 1 year at Fidelity Merchant Bank and Trust as a group accountant. Over 15 years as a financial controller. 15 years, and this guy looks so young. I mean, come on. 15 years as a financial controller at the Bahamas Cooperative League Limited, and 5 years assistant manager of the established local business. He's an elder, he's a pastor, he is a husband, and he is a father. I don't know if you know this person, but he's very qualified for the area that he is going to be shadowing as a shadow minister of the Coalition of Independents. Mr. William Knowles, you are next. Yes, sir. And what we're going to do is we're going to turn our attention to the video screen, and we'll watch a video, and after that we will have the interview with this man of God, this very intelligent, astute man who is going to give us information as to why he is the shadow minister of whatever ministry that is. Turn your heads to the screen. Thank you so much.
I am first and foremost a man of faith, and I am a believer in Jesus Christ. And I am also a man who believes in the authority of Scripture. Secondly, I am a man who believes in godly purpose. I am also a simple family man. I have 4 beautiful daughters and a stepson. By profession, I am an accountant and assistant manager, and I have over 25 years in financial reporting, auditing, and management. First and foremost, when I look at the Coalition of Independents, almost everyone I get in contact with, they seem to be driven by purpose. Not by wealth, not by power, but by purpose. No other party highlights godly purpose and vision and wisdom like the COI. Secondly, I believe that the COI leadership, Mr. Lincoln Bain, is prepared, anointed, and called by God for this time. I believe that no other party has the vision, has the will or heart for the Bahamian people to move us to the next level during this critical time in our nation's history. Why the Ministry of Finance? First and foremost, that is my background. I've been an accountant and financial manager for over 25 years. I have a love for finances and numbers, and my goal has always been to take a complicated financial report and make it simple for the Bahamian people or for those who I'm reporting to. I believe that this would make me a good candidate for the Ministry of Finance. The COI has an exciting vision for finance for the Bahamian people. First and foremost, we want to implement the Freedom of Information Act, because we believe that transparency and accountability is key to making sure or reducing or even eliminating nepotism and cronyism and corruption. And we believe that this is one of the things that needs to be done to minimize these things. Secondly, the COI believes in empowering Bahamian people. So freedom of finances, empowering persons, Bahamians, to access capital is one of the key things that needs to be done for us to access our dreams and expand our potential as Bahamian people. Thirdly, the COI believes that the country is overburdened in taxes. And we believe that the country needs to transition from being so heavily dependent on taxation and burdening the Bahamian people and transition to a country that is more driven and empowered and sustained by investment through our natural resources. And that brings us to the fourth point. The COI's vision is for us to implement the Sovereign Wealth Fund, where every Bahamian will be able to benefit from the natural resources of our nation. My name is William Knowles Jr., and I am the COI candidate for the great constituency of Sea Breeze.
Come on down, Mr. William Knowles Jr. Welcome.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, and thank you for coming.
It's good to be here.
Wonderful. So it says that you're a pastor, you're an elder, you went to UB back in the day, which was COB back in the day, and you have all of these things to your name. Tell me a little bit about yourself that we don't know that you didn't say. Just a little bit.
Well, one thing that was not captured in the video, I do have a passion for young people, and I do have a passion for empowering young people. All right, many people don't know this, and I don't really talk about it because I kind of hold it there, but for about 10 or so years, my wife and I have been doing mentorship programs in government schools through different initiatives by my employers. They have partnered with me, and we've provided food and drinks, a lunchtime, we call it a lunchtime mentorship program.
Oh, wow.
And we have, by God's grace, He has made a way for us to impact 3 public schools over the last 10 years.
That's amazing.
All right?
Yes.
I don't talk about it much. That's kind of something I kind of hold dear. But people, when in politics, people have to know the character of the persons who they want to represent them.
Yeah.
And I felt it was necessary to show that I do have a heart for the people. And a sincere desire to empower and to strengthen and build up.
That's awesome. That's amazing. You don't just go out there and you talk to them, but you feed them as well. Because a lot of people want to come and they want to talk, but when your stomach biting, I don't think you could hear much. So that's amazing.
Yeah, well, just to give a little bit more background, it was started as a program for at-risk boys, right? And we took on a few boys, and it kind of seemed like prison to them for their lunch hour. And I said, listen, I said, next week, if you all want to come, don't come. But next week, I buying pizza for everybody.
Well,
I buying food for everybody.
Yeah.
And I'm going to take my time to pour into you as much as I can. And if you want to receive it, you can receive it. And you know what happened next week, right?
I mean, you had a full house. You had to have had
I
a
had
full
a
house.
full house.
There you go. Yes.
Right? Even the girls tried to come in.
What?
And that made a way for us to expand it to a girls' club where my wife was able to spearhead, and then it moved from 1 school to 2 schools to 2 schools to 3 schools, and just God has been good.
Yes. That is awesome, and God has been good. And I can hear the passion you have for young people. I can hear the passion that you have for our nation, especially when in the interview just now. And I had the chance to meet your beautiful wife, who also has a passion and pushes you, to do what it is that God has called you to do. How do you feel about that? Just having someone to be, stand with you and push you and be that strength that you need even now in politics, because politics is a whole different atmosphere.
Yes, she is truly a blessing, and
Yeah.
she is my support, and she encourages me, and she keeps me in her prayers all the time. So she is truly a blessing to my life, and she supports me fully in this new endeavor, because she has a passion for this nation as well, and she's my right hand.
Yeah, I heard her story, and it was amazing. But she's amazing. You're amazing. I just want you guys to know that, and thank you for standing up and putting yourself out there for the Bahamas and tagging yourself along with the Coalition of Independence. My question to you is, why the Coalition of Independence? And you are the candidate for Seabreeze, right? So why the Coalition of Independence, and why Seabreeze?
Well, it's easy because I live in Seabreeze.
Okay.
So I've spent most of my life in Seabreeze.
Okay.
The Coalition of Independence, I spoke a little bit about it in the interview, but one thing that I didn't say is the first time I kind of sat down with Mr. Bean, right? See, no one would
Okay.
notice, right? First time I kind of sat down with Mr. Bean, he told me, and I think many people may not appreciate this about him, so I will share it. And he says, I'm not looking to be the Minister of Finance, but I would like a godly man
Wow.
in charge of the cookie jar.
Wow.
And if you would take on this challenge, so to speak, and I step forward.
Right.
Because I saw his heart,
Yeah.
because I hear, I hear things on the street, the politics season, they talk a lot about different things, and you say, Lincoln only want to get into to get a hold of the cookie jar. But in my humble opinion, he would be very foolish, unwise to choose someone, right? He knew who stands for godly accountability.
There you go. Yes.
If he really wanted to get in this cookie jar. And I don't think he's a foolish person.
Right.
I do believe he has a sincere passion for this country. And I do believe he has a desire to get rid of corruption.
Yes.
So that's one of the reasons. And I saw the vision that they put forward, and I believe in the vision. And that's why I'm with the COI, and I don't think any other party is really serious about moving this country to the next level, about really sincerely empowering the Bahamian people and trying to build up this country as it needs to be built up.
Yeah, I love that. That is amazing. I have a question, because I'm going to just jump right to it, because I really want to know, how are you going to remove the taxation from the Bahamian people? People are suffering in this country everywhere. Everywhere you turn, people have lost hope. People are committing suicide. I mean, it's so difficult to hear it, because we were never a nation that you would hear that on the radio, or you would hear things happening to our people like that. How would you reduce or remove taxation off the backs of the Bahamian people? What is it that you have in mind to get that done?
Well, as you may have seen or may have been alluded to, we want to transition from this heavy tax burden and focus more on investing or investing from our natural resources and our other assets. Our tax, when you look at the VAT tax for a year, it's only, I say only, right, $1.5 billion. But when you start to talk about the monies or revenues from our natural resources, you're talking about tens of billions of dollars.
Wow.
So when you look at it, it's not very difficult to take away $1.5 billion in taxation, right, and replace it tenfold by our natural resources.
Right.
And I think that people may think it's impossible and think that, the COI is selling dreams. But when you look at the amount of assets and natural resources this nation has,
Yes.
right, we can more than cover the $1.5 billion in taxes in VAT and the other $2 billion or so in other taxations. We can eliminate the majority of taxes if we really want to, in my humble opinion, based on the information that I have.
So you're saying now, because a lot of people have spewed the narrative that this cannot happen, like we don't have enough natural resources, or the natural resources will never make us that kind of money to reduce VAT or remove it or anything. This is the narrative that people are saying on both sides, PLP and F&M, like we're selling dreams, like you said. How is it that we can, Vision 2030 tells us about how we can use our natural resources for certain things, but could you please debunk the narrative that they have said about the COI, that we're selling dreams and it can't happen? What is it that we can do as a people to how do we win from our natural resources? I remember this lady, Crystal Williams, she's one of our candidates in Abaco, and she talks relentlessly about our natural resources, like we have it everywhere. So could you talk a little bit about the natural resources and how it is that, or how can we use them for the benefit and the betterment of the Bahamian people?
Okay, well, I know that I think that the next ministry may talk a little more in depth about, the next shadow minister may talk a little bit more about the natural resources.
Okay.
But I do know that we have a lot of studies done and research has been done, and we've looked at the numbers. When we do a quick maths, everyone talks about the 100,000. It's impossible for 100,000. It only takes $20 billion a year.
This is really a number, man. Like he's just spewing it
It
out.
only takes $20 billion to give 200,000 people $100,000 a year.
Wow.
But when you're talking about tens and hundreds of billions of dollars, you can see that it's possible. Mm-hmm. All right. So I think the narrative that the other parties are putting out, they want to make it seem like it's impossible.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right? And, to me, even if they had a vision or desire for us to do it, what is your offer? I don't see any budget. I don't see no budget for natural resources. When you look in the budget, so you're trying to tell me we don't have any natural resources?
Wow.
That seems very suspicious to me.
Mm-hmm.
All right? There's no vision that's tied to the natural resources. But Alita alluded to it earlier, that there's some carbon credits and stuff that's going to come out, and it's going to reveal that we have a wealthy nation.
Yeah, that is so true. So, Ministry of Finance, what is your vision for the Ministry of Finance? What are we doing in the Ministry of Finance? This is not my forte, so whatever you say, I believe is gospel. Yeah. And I believe you as a man of God. You can tell me the truth on the show tonight. So tell me, Ministry of Finance, what is your vision? What do we have to look forward to when you stand up there and you swear to the Bahamian people that you would do the work that God has sent you to do, number one, and definitely stand and make sure that the Bahamian people, benefit from whatever it is in the Ministry of Finance?
Well, first and foremost, the freedom of information. All right? We need to let the Bahamian know what we have.
That is true.
They need to see how rich the Bahamian economy is. They need to know what all the natural resources are. They need to know what we are doing with their funds.
Yes.
All right? And one of my goals or visions for our party is to be the most transparent and most accountable.
I love this for us. Yes.
Government that you've ever seen.
Yes.
Right? Everything would be on a website, or however we decide to do it. It's going to be in the front of your face, and nothing is going to be hidden. Once you come to the right channels, you can access anything you want to look at. And when you put things in place to allow others to check and to cross-check, then that means it's going to force you to have things in place and to be accountable. Mm-hmm. All right? So we want to start off with that. Mm-hmm. All right? And let me just say this, that you don't need a Freedom of Information Act to be transparent. You don't need that. Mm-hmm. And the government doesn't need that to be transparent with its people. It just does not want to be. All right? Even the way how they report in the budget, it's confusing. It's deceptive. Yes. Right? They don't easily present numbers where you can compare, this is the budget, this is what we do it against budget. You have to go and take this over here and put this over there and put this there and put this over here. The idea is not to be transparent. The idea is to make you not understand. You see, people are afraid of numbers. A lot of people are afraid of numbers.
I am.
And a lot of people don't like numbers. And I think it's intentionally made complicated so we don't understand it. All right, so one of the things we want to do is make it plain, right? Make it accessible, right? show you everything that we're doing.
Right.
We have nothing to hide. All right, and that's I think that's a foundation for how we want to govern. Secondly, we want to make it easy for Bahamians to prosper, all right, and to build wealth. And one of the things that that many people struggle with is finances, getting a loan. I mean, I know you don't have to worry about that, right? But but a lot of people.
It's true.
A lot of people, when they go to build a company or start up a business, it's like you got to bring 10,000 to get 5,000. I said it jokingly, but it's, you have to bring 10 to get 10.
The math ain't
I mean, if I had 10, I didn't need to borrow 10.
That's, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So one of the things that we want to do is to nationalize and revitalize and expand the Bank of the Bahamas. And we want to transform it into...
Could you say it again?
So we want to nationalize,
Yeah.
revitalize, and expand the Bank of the Bahamas. And we want to use this bank to finance the dreams of the Bahamian people.
Wow.
So if you look at our vision, you'll see that there are loans as low as 0%, right?
Wow.
And the whole thing is that we don't want any hassle, we don't want any obstacle to Bahamians being productive, right? To building capacity and exploring their dreams and being good citizens, productive citizens of this country. And, we realize that the banking industry has some practices that it isn't conducive to Bahamians to succeeding. All right? And they can make millions of dollars and still increase fees, right?
That's true.
And, that is one of the major things I believe is going to jumpstart this economy and allow Bahamians to be their entrepreneurs and to, put together their ideas. And so the Bank of the Bahamas is one of the key things that's going to kind of drive competition, okay? So when other banks see that they can get a loan at the Bank of the Bahamas, right, for little to nothing, they're going to be forced to drop their rates.
Right.
Okay,
yes.
because it's a competitive market. So they're going to have to be more competitive with their lending, and the fees are going to have to drop. Some banks, I don't think they want your money. Some banks act like, I don't know if you've had these experiences, but a lot of young people trying to get financing for little things, and they
Yes.
can't get it. They try to get financing for small businesses and whatnot, and those are kind of things that we want to do through the Bank of the Bahamas. And then we have a lot of lending institutions. One thing, we want to empower Bahamians to fulfill their dreams, but we want to protect Bahamians as well.
Yes.
All right, so we realize there's a lot of shortages in this space, this financial lending space, where people take advantage of consumers. And one of the things I love in this particular vision is the Financial Consumer Protection Agency. I don't know if we've addressed that, but it's this agency that will fight on behalf of the people for these financial crimes, I call it, that they do to the Bahamian people.
Yes.
All right? There's no way you should be have a loan for a small item for 20 years because of... Oh, you sound
Talk
like,
about that.
you see?
Let's talk about that, because people, like, I am really trying to ascertain mortgages in this country, right? You get a loan from whatever bank you choose for, like, let's say $100,000. By the time as you're done, you've already paid that bank almost $300,000 or $400,000.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Yeah. And then there's cases where if you default, right, they take your stuff and sell it cheap to their friend.
Oh my goodness.
Right? That's what I'm hearing. I don't know what you're hearing.
It's true. It's
right?
true.
But, they take your hard-earned investment that you've been paying all these years, and they take it and with little to no leniency. And they, hey, I got one nice house over here. I got one nice car over here. Make me an offer. These kind of things that we have to face.
Wow.
And the people feel like they have no one to fight for them. And so I think this agency is a great step into preventing and protecting the Bahamian people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. The housing situation is a big deal because when I look at the housing in America and I look at the housing in the Bahamas and the cost of the housing in the Bahamas and the cost of the housing in America, what you're paying here for the little that you have is a mansion over there. Like I don't even get it. The math is not mathing for me. So I am so thankful that you are going to be our member of parliament and our shadow minister covering finance. I know you're a man of God. I believe in what you have. I believe in your passion for the Bahamian people and lifting the taxations off of the Bahamian people. Is there anything else you would like to say to the people of the Bahamas as the shadow minister of finance?
Well, our whole mission is to empower Bahamians. All right? So whatever that looks like, and whatever area that is needed, we will make it our mandate to make it easy for Bahamians to do business, to make it easy for Bahamians to access capital, and make it easy for Bahamians to fulfill their dreams. And then at the end of the year, we would like to give you a check for your natural resources.
I like that. Listen, come on. I love that for us. Yes. Mr. Knowles, it has been a pleasure to have you sit down and talk to us and the Bahamian people. He is the member of parliament, the next member of parliament for Seabreeze, and the Minister of Finance for the Coalition of Independence when we walk into this new Bahamas. Thank you so much for being a part of this sit down. It was quick, it was fast, but it was fun. And I know we got a lot of information. I hope you in the viewing audience have gotten information. You in social media land, I hope you have gotten some information and some ideas of these people who we're putting forth, are intelligent, brilliant people of the Coalition of Independence, our candidates. They're amazing. Thank you so much, sir. I appreciate you, and thank you for indulging me. Thank you.
It's been my pleasure to share.
Have a good one.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes. So the next person we have, and they said, okay, hold the suspense. So I'm going to try my best. I'm not going to say what they are going to be the minister of, but this person has been a warrior princess, so we already know it's a woman, for the Bahamian people for a very, very long time. She has championed so many things. If you look on social media, you see her there fighting for the Bahamian people. You see her there fighting for the officers. I think that's a passion for her. She fights for officers. She fights for everybody. Trust me, and the mouth is the mouth. The stature is very small, but that mouth, you're going to know. And she is here, and she's the shadow minister for whatever it is going to be on the video. So we're going to sit back, and if you can turn your attention to the video, and you can see a shadow minister for... No video? Okay, so we're going to call Maria Daxon. Come on down, darling. Come on down, and I'm going to let you tell them what you are shadowing. Because I'm sure they thought it was going to be immigration or something. So let them know what you are shadowing, please, and thank you. Welcome.
Welcome. Good night, my fellow Bahamians.
Did you hear that? My fellow Bahamians. It's so amazing. Yes. Yes, yes. So could you tell the Bahamian people what you are the shadow minister for?
I don't know why Lincoln gave me this big post. I'm going to be the shadow minister for labor, public service and labor. I'm coming to take Pia Glover Place.
Oh, okay.
They decided to give me the ministry for the workers in this country. I don't know why Lincoln did it, but he must know why.
I think that's the perfect position for you.
I think so too.
Yes. So like you said, you're taking Pia Glover's position.
Yeah.
So she's, okay. So
we're going to take her out. We're going to vote the PLP out.
Listen, yes.
We're going to vote them out.
We're going to vote them out. Yes.
I want to tell the Bahamian people something tonight. In order for us to go in there to make a change, we need y'all to go to the polls and vote against this PLP government. Because if we don't, we're in problems. I can't take another 5 years, or we're going to die in this country. And the workers in this country will continue to suffer. And tonight, when Lincoln said he's going to give me this post, I said, man, there's over 40,000 workers in this country. I say, I got to bring on my team, eh? I'm going to have to bring on my team.
You got
but
this.
I want to tell the Bahamian people something. When I look back, see, Lincoln is analyzed some stuff, because I know. And I start to think, I said, hold on. All these workers I've been dealing with, Ministry of Works, the police, every government agency in this country, I have touched.
Wow.
Every single one.
Wow.
I have persons continue to complain. Dr. MacGyver, PHA, my phone was blinging. Last week, with the workers again not getting paid their overtime. And it is sickening in this country. And what is so sad is that this new day PLP government is only checking for the upper class workers in this country. They're not checking for the poor. They're not checking for the contracted workers. They're not checking for the persons who are on minimum wage. And these are the persons that need the help in this country. They need the funds. Some of them are not even permanent and pensionable. I can't believe this. I am coming to Parliament to make the change for the junior workers in this country. And Pierre Glover, Mr. Prime Minister, you all have those people at the library would be there for years. And they're not permanent or pensionable. Some of them get 30 years, 25 years, and 15 years. But y'all could turn around and bring in your people on contract who are still getting a pension from the government, getting national insurance. They triple dipping. Whereas the workers, the junior workers in this country, cannot get what they need to get. So when we get to Parliament, we're going to change some stuff. I am going to be there looking out for the workers. And I want my open door policy, I don't only want to hear from the union, I need to hear from the junior workers to see their pain and their suffering that they are going through. The working conditions are deplorable in this country. Lincoln can tell you, that was the registry we made away. When we made out there, they're working in mold conditions. And I am a perfect example of what happened when you work in the mold conditions. You end up with asthma. They call it a dangerous building. I am going to be addressing that. Because that national debt what we got dealing with, Mr. Finance Man, I need some money for the public service.
Yes, sir.
Make sure put some money in there for them. And I got to list a whole stuff of the people who continue to cry out. Even when Lincoln put that hazardous pay up there, they still calling me. Pierre Glover, them still haven't given these people their hazardous allowance. I'm going to take you all to court, though. I'll get the writ next week. Things must change in this country. We are going to the People's Parliament to talk about the people's business. And all these foreigners when it's come in this country and treat the Bahamian people with disrespect, like dogs, we going to get y'all out. I am going to be like the late Celine Oscar Pillin. He said, look here, who treating our people bad? Immigration, get them out of our country. Celine might have had his ways, but you never could have come in this country and treat his people with disrespect. Enough is enough, man. When I think about the workers on the beach, Lincoln, you remember the beach workers? We had to fight for so much workers in this country. I didn't realize how much people we had to touch. We had to go there and stand. Even the PLPs we had to stand with. They crucifying us. But when they gotten problems, they know who to pick up the phone. Lincoln, Maria, where y'all at? We need you to come on the beach. Again? It's about the workers in this country. It's about the Bahamian people. Oh, and I'm going to change your law. You know that 12 years? The employment, the only thing you can get is 12 years. No way. We're going to change that. They're going to pay a percentage on each year that you work for any company in this country. Because if the government can pay their 4%, the private sectors can pay it too. Unacceptable. I'm not going to allow them to come into my country and treat the Bahamian people with disrespect. And we're supposed to sit there and take it? Unacceptable.
There you have it. My fellow Bahamians. I hear the passion for the Bahamian people. I hear, all of the things you've been fighting for many, many, many years. I think everybody knows you as someone who is going to fight, very small and tiny in stature, but the mouth, and always come with evidence. Could you see the book? Could you see the portfolio? It's always evidence when she comes to speak. It's nothing that she's exaggerating or nothing that she's trying to, change or, bend the truth. There's always evidence behind what you say. Tell me, where does your passion come from? Where does all of this come from? Because we all know you as a fighter. We all know you as a champion fighter. But where does this passion come from for the Bahamian people?
From the police force. Apparently, Lincoln would know. I joined the police force in 1989 underneath Sir Lyndon Pinland. And they treated the police with so much disrespect. We were getting a little salary, Lincoln will tell you. And apparently, 3 years before I joined the job, they had given the police a raise. You all know what the PLP did? They called back and say, it was a mistake.
Whoa.
They took every dime back from those police officers. We always speak about that. And the passion, when I sit there in Freeport, Grand Bahama, my Freeport people, them police them was sharp. It was unacceptable. I just couldn't understand how these were black leaders were treating us like slaves. They wanted us to work for them and they keep all of the money. And then my passion, I started to read a lot and I wanted to become a lawyer, and I used to be like, hold on. But to see what the British people is all about, why was the PLP treating the workers in the country the way they was treating them? And when I went to school, employment law was one of my things I started to study. I said, coming back home, I'm going to fight this government. And I started to fight for the police. Dr. MacGyver, you again, the hospital. Got a best friend who's a nurse. She left the country. The condition was bad. And one day she called me out. My fellow Bahamians, kudos to my friend. She said, why are you always fighting for the police, defense force, and the prison? What about the other workers in this country? I said, what? I said, well, you all get your union. She said, no, you need to start fight for everybody. And that's how I got into this fight. Especially, I wanted the hospital, I wanted that because my mother was an auxiliary nurse and they were getting treated so badly. You all don't understand it. It was the treatment of them what caused me to start to fight. And so that's where my passion comes from. When you hear their cry, my fellow Bahamians, and Lincoln, no, you just have to sit there and listen. And you could see the expression on the people. They are hurting. But the PLP, they have no compassion. They don't care. They have no heart any longer. They went there to do what they have to do. But they have their foot on top of the Bahamian people, workers' neck in this country.
Wow.
It's bad. It is bad, my fellow Bahamians.
If you can't hear the passion and if you can't hear the drive as to why she goes out there and do what she does, I don't know what else she needs to say. But we thank you for your service. We thank you for, your strength. And we thank you for going out there, even when you're not healthy enough to be out there. You still go out there and you still fight for the people of the Bahamas. We say thank you. This is our shadow minister for
Public service and labor.
Maria Daxon. Give her a round of applause, everyone.
Good
Thank you
night.
so much.
You're welcome.
My fellow Bahamians. Yes, that was amazing. Listen, I was just listening because she has such a passion. She was just overflowing with information, overflowing with everything that she was saying. And I know she's touched the hearts of the Bahamian people even as she has spoken. Our next person, and I'm trying to find his bio, so we already know it's a guy, is a man of God. We have a lot of men of God here. We have like the coalition is built on men and women of God, and we give God thanks and praise for that. Yeah, that's an amazing thing. So I'm going to read a little bit of his biography. He's a child of God, a minister of the gospel, and a Bahamian who loves his country, as every candidate in the Coalition of Independence. He is supported by his awesome wife. He has a degree with certification in education, making him a trained teacher and an educator. He is skilled in working with structured framework and assessing whether stated goals align with measurable outcomes. These numbers, all kind of stuff going on here. Also, I'm just running through a former language instructor. Well, he's very eloquent. If you know him, you know who I'm talking about. A firm grasp for the English, same thing, a firm grasp for the English language. Yes, a nuisance that can be misleading and misinterpreted. This type of analytical mindset and skill is crucial when negotiating documents and treaties that position our people for better. Now, if you don't know this person, Mr. Stephen McQueen, you're going to know him in just a minute. But before he comes on, I'm sure there's a video this time of Mr. McQueen and the area or the ministry that he will be shadowing as a COI shadow minister. Let it rip.
Stephen McQueen is a person who loves God, who loves country. I am a teacher by profession. I've taught at BTVI, Bahamas Technical and Vocational Institute. My last area is primary. In fact, that's where my degree is, primary education. And so I love working with children. I've taught grades 5, grade 6. I am a community person. Every weekend, just about, in the Nassau Village community, my wife and I work with the children in that community, grooming them in things related to God, giving them a safe space. Why am I in politics? As I followed COI, I realized that our country is at a certain crossroads. And through the visionary leadership of Mr. Lincoln Bean, our people have been educated on matters never before heard, things that were seemingly a great secret. And so I see a party that delights in uplifting the people of the Bahamas, delights in educating the people of the Bahamas. We have a visionary leader who's not afraid, who's courageous, and who believes that Bahamians should be first in our country. I'm impressed by that. I'm moved by that. And so, for me, it was the natural thing to do, to become part of a movement of people who loves the Bahamas, who wants the Bahamas to be all that it can be. And to do that with more than just talk, but with visionary plans, not just good ideas, concrete plans to bring that to pass. I'm grateful to be the Shadow Minister for Foreign Affairs. COI's vision is to develop new policies that takes the Bahamas to the world. Our embassies abroad are going to change in their functionality, in their purpose. It's going to be entrepreneurial centers where if Bahamians are in country A or country B, whatever country they're in, and they want to do business, they want to get established in that country, our Foreign Affairs Embassy will be the place for them to come because we're going to make the connections for them. We're going to make the contacts for them. We're going to ensure that they have the regulatory protocols in place, the licenses that they may need, the necessary things to establish them in whatever country they are in, whatever area of expertise they wish to be in. That is what we're going to do with our Foreign Affairs Embassy. And so what we want to do is make it so that the Bahamas, our foreign policies serve the interests of the Bahamas first and foremost. We're going to be establishing various businesses through our foreign affairs embassies. And so we want to present the Bahamas as not just as a world player, but a country that is different in every regard in taking the Bahamas to higher levels internationally. One of the challenges that we've always had as a small nation is seemingly Bahamians are left abroad without resources, without protection, without anyone standing by them in times of difficulties, hurricanes, in times of trouble in whatever country they may be in. We want them to know that they're going to have a government that's going to stand with them, that's going to protect them, that's going to come and get them from wherever they might be because they are Bahamians. And so they can count on the government of the Bahamas through the COI to be there for them, to have their backs no matter what, and to stand with them no matter where they are. And that's what we're going to do through our foreign affairs embassies as well. So it's not just going to be a place known for the foreign affairs minister or the necessary personnel, but we are going to ensure that Bahamians have every resource that they need, no matter what situation or circumstances they find themselves in.
Queen, everyone.
Good evening, Bahamas. Good evening, one and all. Good evening, Madam Host.
Yes, good evening to you. I like this little salt and pepper thing you have going on.
My wife.
Yeah, it's really clocking. It's really clocking, okay? So, Mr. McQueen, why the COI and why the Ministry of Foreign Affairs?
The COI is, in my view, the only party that has the Bahamians' best interest at heart, the Bahamas' best interest at heart. We are a party of Bahamians first, and that is on display every day, all the time.
Yeah.
That's important to me. And it has, as I said in the video, a visionary leader, visionary leadership, courageous people who risk it all, and not just during election time. And to me, I've never seen that. And top that off with people who love God. Those three mean everything to me in a political party, in a movement where the Bahamas is concerned, where we are concerned as a nation. That means everything.
So I hope I didn't butcher your introduction too much, but could you tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we're going to go back to why the Ministry of Foreign Affairs for you. But tell us a little bit about yourself that I didn't say or I didn't butcher. Tell us a little bit about yourself that the Bahamian people will know you a little bit better. This is our candidate for Nassau Village, everyone. The COI's candidate for Nassau Village and our shadow minister for Foreign Affairs.
I am a man of God. I am a minister. I am a married man who loves his wife. She has my, she is my heartbeat. She's my support. I'm an educator. My degree and my certification is in primary education, and it has taught me so much about structures and interpretation and taking things that are abstract and bringing them to reality and having measurable goals and things that you look for. These are skills that also are very, very usable in negotiating treaties. I'm a language teacher. I've been a language instructor at BTVI. I've held language debates, And so there are certain nuances and certain things that are necessary from an analytical perspective in negotiating documents and writing documents that can be confusing, misleading, and so I pay very careful attention to these things, even as it relates to the law of our own land and the Constitution. And so that gives me a feel for documentation, for negotiating. I'm a public speaker, trainer, and these kinds of things. And so I'm very keen on paying attention to what is said and what is not said.
I got you. Yes. It's very important.
And so I pay attention to these things. We work with children in our community. We basically every week give them a safe space. We provide them food. We talk to them with regard to God. And once a month, we take them on a field trip, some kind of outing that gives them a different exposure from what they might be used to. Take them from a negative environment and take them to something cultural like Pirates of Nassau or the Adastra Gardens or the beach. And so we try to give the children of our community a safe space. And we've been doing that even before I entered politics. And so children are near and dear to our hearts.
This is amazing. I think you're the second person who came on the set and talked about the passion of our youth, having a passion for our youth. That is so amazing because they are our future. And if we don't invest in them, then, you know, what are we going to have? Another thing, I'm grateful that you feed them and you don't just talk. Food is a big deal for me. So I'm just going to say that every time when they start talking about feeding the people. I love that. I love that for them and I love that for us. Hint, hint. Yes. So Ministry of Foreign Affairs, tell us a little bit about that and your passion and your desire. Where do you see it going? What is the vision that you have along with the Coalition of Independence for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs at this time?
Currently, the Bahamas does not have a foreign affairs policy. And specifically does not have one that is Bahamian first or Bahamas first focused, centered. Our foreign policy is pretty much compliance and ad hoc agreements and arrangements. And so we operate not from a position of strength, but from a position really of compliance. I think for the vision that we have, we want to take the Bahamas to the world from a very different perspective, from a position of strength. In the video, it talked about making our foreign embassies entrepreneurial centers so that if there are Bahamians with a vision, a business, let's take, for example, we're loaded with conch shells. And it was amazing to me, at one point it seemed that the Chinese were taking the conch shells to make jewelry and all of the rest of that. But what if there were a Bahamian that had this idea of, hey, look, I could do conch shells and I want to export this to a certain countries or several other countries. Then our foreign affairs embassy would be the place to reach out to that country, ensure the right documentations are had and the right licenses.
I love this.
All of
yes.
that, and push that person's business there. So we want to export the Bahamas to the world. Maybe there are those who want to do clothing design. Maybe there are those who want to take their photography somewhere. But the whole idea is taking the Bahamas to the world and making us a country that sets up businesses in other people's countries because they come here and they do it. You walk downtown and you see this business and you see that business, and then when you go to a certain country, like, oh, we have that in Nassau. Well, what if Bahamians could go to a place and say, ooh, that's a Bahamian business? Look at that. It's inspiring because it says that we believe and we know that Bahamians can do whatever they have the support to do. And so we want to provide that. We want to take the Bahamas to the world and make our foreign affairs embassies entrepreneurial centers.
Listen, you have me. Listen, I am bought hook, line, and sinker. I think that's how they say it. it's something else that you said in the video when you spoke about Bahamian people wherever they are, making sure they're a priority, making sure our embassies are able to really assist our Bahamian people wherever they are in the world. I think that's very important. Could you elaborate a little bit more about that?
Sure. It grieves me because when I pay attention to news and disaster comes, and a country would send in whatever resources, whether they send flights, whether they send medical, whatever, they will go and collect their people from danger zones, whether it's an impending war, whether it's a major storm, whether some natural disaster, but our people have to shelter in place and hope the disaster passes them by. We're saying through the Foreign Affairs Ministry, we're coming for you.
Come on now.
You're
Yes.
not going to be left stranded.
Yeah.
You're not going to be left to wonder if we're coming for you. If you find yourself in some unfortunate circumstance, we're not going to wait for the government of that country to say, we think they're okay. No, we're coming. Because we're going to ensure that your rights are protected.
Yes.
We're going to ensure that everything you need is provided for, that you are not mistreated because you are a first-class citizen of the Bahamas. We are going to provide the protection, the resources, and whatever you need because you are Bahamian. And we don't have that. And so we want to change that narrative. We need a paradigm shift. We want Bahamians to know that you are valued and that you have a country and a government in the coalition of independence. It's going to stand with you, stand for you, and demand, not only demand, provide what is necessary for you for the best outcome of whatever circumstance you are in. And so it takes foreign affairs to do that. But there are some other things that we want to see happen from a foreign affairs perspective. We, as I said, pretty much comply. But we need to negotiate treaties. We need to negotiate agreements that allow us to retain sovereignty over our territory.
Yes.
Sovereignty over our borders. Sovereignty over our airspace. We need to negotiate treaties and agreements that respect the sovereign right of the government of the Bahamas,
Right.
under COI government, to make decisions in our best interest.
Yes.
Bahamas first.
Bahamas first.
And so we need to negotiate with our partners to the north. We need to negotiate treaties with CARICOM countries because we have a migration problem. We need to negotiate treaties with the governments of various countries so that there is burden sharing. It cannot be that in the case of illegal immigration, that they come here and we ship them out. But who bears the cost? We do. And so they have no issue coming back because there are no penalties.
Yeah.
There are no costs associated with it. We bear the cost.
Yes.
That has to change. And so, but that takes negotiating treaties. That takes negotiating with the governments of those countries and saying, hey, business as usual cannot happen anymore. Let's sit, let's negotiate. This must change. We cannot remain on the receiving end and the cost-bearing end. And so that's something else that we have to negotiate and put into our foreign policy. There has to be, with regard to foreign aid, every country receives foreign aid at some point. Foreign aid, where there's foreign investment, and these things come in, and that's fine, but we cannot have them have such power that they dictate what happens in country. Again, that speaks to sovereignty. So we need to negotiate from a position of strength so that at the end of the day, whatever agreements we sign off on, they ensure that the Bahamas is not pulled along by outside forces, and we simply do what is in a company's best interest, another nation's best interest. There has to be this trade-off that is mutually beneficial. And so we're talking about foreign affairs from that perspective as well.
I love that. I love that. And I'm not going to call the name, but the foreign affairs minister usually calls the Coalition of Independence Coalition of Idiots, right? And I am listening to you, and I am listening to how you're articulating this information. I'm listening to the vision. I'm listening how it's thorough. You have thought about this. Vision 2030 has laid it out for the Bahamian people. We are an astute. We have brilliant candidates who are speaking truth to power. And I want to say thank you for that. Thank you for doing what you're doing, and thank you for the passion that you're doing it with. You're not sitting here and just telling us a story. You're telling us exactly what the new Bahamas is going to look like in May of 2026, because we're going to hit the ground running. Our first 100 days is going to be amazing. They're not going to know this country when we're done with it in our first 100. Are we going to put our first 100 days? Our first 100 days is going to be historical for the country, and I'm excited about it. Is there anything else you would like to share about the Ministry of Foreign Affairs? And there's something else. I know we have gotten a lot of information from our leader, Mr. President, we call him, about the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and how monies are just being, it's being spent aimlessly. People are being spent hundreds of thousands of dollars, people who are qualified, people who are not qualified. You have offices and embassies oversaturated with people who don't even need to be there at the Bahamian people's dime. What is going to change under your nose, under your leadership as the Minister of Finance?
What's going to change
Foreign Affairs.
Foreign Affairs.
Yes.
What's going to change is that any negotiated agreement is going to have to come through government. No more will there be memorandums of understanding that seem to take precedent over law, seem to have power outside of Parliament. And so there's going to be accountability, because there's not going to be signing off on anything that comes into force without governmental approval.
Wow.
And so within the Foreign Affairs Ministry, I won't have sole authority to do whatever I want.
Come on now.
And this is why policies and laws and parliamentary approval will take precedence.
I loved how you positioned yourself. When you said that with full authority. Yes, we need that. We definitely need that.
I'll say one more thing, and I don't want to say much about it because it touches into another minister's area. But imagine not just having cruise ships come to the Bahamas, but the Bahamas owning cruise ships. And we negotiate that they not only flow through the Bahamas, but that they flow from the Bahamas to this country, to that country, to another country. Imagine that. These are some of the things that we're going to be addressing and negotiating and putting in. Because why should I have to take a flight from the Bahamas to somewhere else to get on a cruise ship that comes to the Bahamas?
Now, come on now, yeah. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense at all.
But when we own the cruise ships and we negotiate and sign treaties, government-approved treaties, then bigger things than that can happen.
I love that. I love that. Thank you. In closing, tell the Bahamian people what you want to say. Your last couple seconds now, because you speak really well, sir. I just want you speak. You're very eloquent. So it's so true. You have the English language to wrap around your finger. Go ahead.
I want to speak to the nation at large and specifically to my Nassau Village family. I understand that it is scary going from where you are to something new. And that the other parties are going to feed on your fear. But Sir Lyndon Penling, before he became that, he didn't start out being Prime Minister. He became Prime Minister. There was a time the country was under British rule. It became independent. And I'm sure there was some degree of fear amongst citizens, amongst everyone. Do not allow fear to paralyze you. Look at the people who sat before you today and know that we can do this together and that there must be change. It cannot be that we continue to struggle and to suffer and to be left behind in our own country. You see it every day wherever you go. In the words of Michael Jackson, make that change.
Trust Mike. Trust Mike. Thank you so much, Mr. McQueen. Thank you so much. Our next Minister of Foreign Affairs, but we're shadowing right now. We thank you for your service. We thank you for giving us a hint of what you're going to do as the Minister of Foreign Affairs in the New Bahamas. So we have two other, I know when our leader spoke, he said that you have some shadow ministers and some ministries that are gonna have like 3 people. So at this time, we're gonna have 2 people come up, and I'm not gonna say, but you're probably gonna know when I call their names, what they are shadowing. So Dr. Jermaine Higgs, he's married to Dr. Shashat Higgs. I hope I said that correctly. If I butchered that, I'm so sorry. He's a committed father. He's a business owner and a PAHO sanitization certified, and he is a lover of Christ. And also Mr. Graham Weatherford. I don't even need to introduce this man. He's another one of those people who has been fighting for the Bahamian people, fighting for certain resources, because if I say it, you would know exactly where we're coming from with this. And he has been, everywhere. If you know him, you know he's been at this for years and years and years and years. So if you're going to turn your attention, or if you don't mind, turn your attention, and we'll have a video right now talking about our 2 shadow ministers of the ministry of blank. Thank you so much.
I am a father, a husband, a business owner, a holder of a doctorate in theology. I am a well-rounded person in the community. That is Jermaine Higgs. I have chosen the COI because COI is clearly the only choice for the Bahamian people, knowing that the PLP and the FNM has been the biggest and the only generational curse that has ever been in the Bahamas. I've chosen the COI to represent the Bahamian people. The environment and natural resources is dear to me. My business, Modern Homes Bahamas, deals with a lot of viruses and bacteria, things that happens naturally inside the environment. I've always had a passion for the environment, whether it is carbon, whether it is clean energy, that is my passion. The COI vision for the environment and natural resources is twofold. One, we would like to push the circular economy that will deal with waste, and the blue economy that will deal with water. When we talk about water, we're talking about the ocean, and we're talking about all waters around us. The COI has the diversity of thought, where we go in deep on all of these issues, taking us to the next level. My name is Jermaine Higgs, and I will be representing the islands of Maicah.
I'm a business owner in the Bahamas, and I've been speaking to the natural resources and the environment for decades. Well, we've been talking about these issues for decades now, and while we hear hype from everyone, we see very little happening and the people benefiting from the country's resources. We've only seen proper proposals and documentation on our natural resources that have taught a lot of Bahamians what has not been common knowledge. And so really only the COI has shown us the potential of what we have. So the COI is the only party that has actually given you a Vision 2030 to tell you what they wish to do and see happen with your natural resources and your environment, and moving us away from an economy that taxes the citizens instead of helping the citizens benefit from their natural resources. These resources, some of them, are relying on us protecting our environment, such as fish. If you destroy the environment, you no longer have those crawfish and fish and conch that we export. So what a lot of people did not know but are now seeing because of the COI bringing it each Sunday and in the Vision 30 is the extreme wealth the Bahamas has from its natural resources. The difference is other parties speak to it and they show some benefit, but the COI wants to actually put the money from the resources into each citizen's hand. So a lot of people ask, where will the money come from to do what the COI is proposing, this wonderful, fantastic Bahamas? Well, the resources have such value that it can actually fix all of the problems in this country, on top of helping the Bahamians benefit and developing all of our islands properly.
Let's give it up for Dr. Jameen Higgs and Mr. Graham Weatherford. Come on down. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I feel good. I'm sitting between two great men. This is amazing. I love it. I love this for me. I love this for me. Okay? Yes. So you guys are both shadow ministers for the Ministry of
The environment
and also
natural resources.
Natural Resources. So, Mr. Weatherford, you've been talking about this thing for I think from I was a child. I really believe that you've been talking about this thing. Tell us about your passion and tell us about why the environment and why natural. I mean, we all know, but tell us some more.
So if God gives you a wealth in your country and you don't use it to benefit all of your people, then you basically failed. You know, one prime minister said we don't have any natural resources. But if you look, there's solar panels near where he lives. Isn't the sun a natural resource? Don't we say sun, sand, and sea? Nothing covers the Bahamas like that radio station, but the sun. So it's one of our biggest natural resources we're not using.
Right.
But we have a plethora of natural resources. Sand. Sand has many components, one of which probably many people have never heard of, oolite, O-O-L-I-T-E. Google it, used to purify water. So we've never done an assessment on the Bahamas to see how wealthy the Bahamas is, but yet we get downgraded. So we need to first, in this ministry, assess the wealth of the Bahamas as it pertains to our natural resources. I always make a joke. How many fish are in the sea?
I don't think we can count them.
Do we have 1 billion snapper? So at $10 each, that's your national debt gone.
Wow.
Just protect the sea so the snapper keep coming. You got a snapper could pay off your national debt. So when they say that the COI and Mr. Bain, it's not capable of doing what he says, that little thing. We
Wow.
even hit conch, crawfish, crab, and everything else.
Lobster, nothing.
But let's get to environment.
Yes.
I don't see where we're really serious with our environment. We're doing some stuff that, I mean, I could give you a list, but one that I've seen lately is our harbor.
Wow.
And it really upsets me. You know, we have waves come in. If you remove the trees and the dune, what do you end up with?
Wow.
So it goes over, almost every ministry will be affected by environment because almost every Bahamian will be affected.
Wow.
Affected. think about this. Just a few years ago, and it's very upsetting, we dug for oil in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Did anyone ever get a sample to see what the quality is? The people have to decide if they want oil, but we have natural gas. There's so many things in environment, and we have a lot to achieve and go over to get this wealth, to put it in the citizens' hands.
Yeah. So, Dr. Higgs, you are certified by PAHO. Explain that to me and tell me about the environment, because it seems as if that is like a passion of yours as well.
Yes, I will go deep into what needs to be said in terms of dealing with the environment itself. The environment, as it stands in the Bahamas right now, we can't take it to the world. What we are seeing out there, every corner, every space, if there's not a foul odor or there's garbage everywhere, we grew up hearing, clean, green, and pristine, sun, sand, and sea. But we don't have that here today. We don't have that here today. What we have in our country now is actually showing how and why they are now depicting us as third world country.
Wow.
Okay? We can do better. We can do better. We have the natural resources. We have the manpower. We have the diversity of thought, But the difference is, okay, we in the COI are prepared to make these changes for the betterment of all Bahamians, not for some. Everyone in the Bahamas will benefit. Everyone. When we look I heard my colleagues speaking about mold in some, in certain buildings. Every government building in this country has mold.
Every building.
I can call it COB, the hospital, Defense Force Base, everyone.
Yes.
Every year for our children to be able to attend school, they have to make sure they are immunized. But they are going to school, we call it, inside my profession, sick building syndrome. These buildings are not properly sanitized. The House of Assembly is not properly sanitized, only probably when I used to do it.
Wow.
Okay? And so we living in a time now where our country now is continuing to slide backward. Okay? The government itself needs to be sanitized because they're not forthright with what's going on with our people. Case in point, we have hundreds of people right now with this bad cough going around. But they fail to say to people, wear your mask. COVID is still around. Okay? I don't know if they are using and calculating the fact that this is what caused the administration, so they're fearful of saying it. But the truth is, we need to be transparent with our people. Okay? We need to be transparent with our people. So many people are falling sick. So many suicides, so many this and that, simply because they're so unbearable. We can't afford to live in our own country.
You're right.
Our environment itself, we need now to transform it for a new Bahamas. What do I mean by that? Every corner we go at, we see rodents, we see roaches, we see centipedes. When it rains, the garbage are open on side of the road. That's a third world country. That's the 1950s, 60s. We need to get away from that.
Yes.
Okay? We have done, I know that the Coalition of Independence has had a team to the garbage site already. And we have done our assessment. We will close that down. We will use the methane from there, but we will close that down. And we're going to find a key on island where we can barge garbage to that. So persons in those areas don't have to be affected, don't have to get sick.
Yes.
You have babies, I'm having asthma, having breathing.
Yes.
All of those things are because of the lack of vision. It's because of these people do not care. They do not care. I'll give you a case in point. The Bahamian people, I'm guilty of this too, but the Bahamian people, every year, we go through the struggles of the year. Just for Christmas, we save, just for Christmas. Just to see the beauty of the houses and the environment, and just to feel Christmas. I'm here to say that the COI want to make every day feel like Christmas for the Bahamian
Come on
people.
now.
Every day.
Every day.
Our environment is what we're going to put first. Our environment is our beginning, is our end. My certification with PAHO deals with the hospital, deals with broad spectrum chemicals, deals with certain military bases that I am certified to make sure that it is up and running and properly sanitized. Okay?
So question.
Over to my
is it possible with our natural resources and the things that we have, we can put an end to our debt as the Bahamas? Because you know we're always in debt. We always.
Think about this. The previous prime minister went on CBS, 60 Minutes, and said that we burn $400 million in fuel each year to make electricity. Now, the sun shines a third of the time in a 24-hour period. So what's a third of 400 million? Well over, what is a third of 400 million? Well over 100 million. I go low, because then no one can argue. $100 million a year, we could save to start putting solar on every rooftop. Where the money coming from? You know, we've had 53 years of people who have us billions in debt. So they can't, you could take a chance on them telling you where some money's coming from? I just gave you $100 million to let's solarize every home. Here's another one. Environment, it affects everything. Power generation. Last week, our leader showed you how to move between the islands with no pollution.
Wow.
Our airplanes, pollution. Our boats, pollution. Cars, everything, pollution. I don't even think the people understand what was discussed last Sunday. Your power generation now comes from fossil fuel. Some of those known to cause cancer. We could clean up the whole country by not transporting all this old fossil fuel and using that clean water, because hydrogen is water. You've seen the rockets go out of the hemisphere? SpaceX, Space Shuttle. You know what the emissions are from that? Nothing, zero. Steam. It's hydrogen and oxygen that makes water. And what you stumbled on, what those people realized here is we have an environment that we're allowing to be destroyed, right down to our precious water table in Andros. Should only be environmentally friendly chemicals. No Snowball, Mr. Clean, and all that going in our good water table. See, if you're going to get serious about environment, you got to get serious. Can you imagine your car coming out of the muffler is no emission. Hydrogen. Super affordable. Your ticket to get to the island, super affordable on a machine that no pollution. So we're either going to kick it up to the ultimate level and be ahead of any other country in the world. They will be following what we lay out. And we can do it because we only got a couple people.
In addition to what my colleague just said, just picture this, folks. Solar geysers that we plan on putting inside our lakes and our waterways. What solar geysers does is it takes the sun to operate, but what it does is, I'll look at Big Pond itself that everyone says is dead. It oxygenates the water as it goes up and it brings back life. It moves the scent, it does everything, okay? And so this all falls in our plan for a circular economy. I will give persons an example because the circular economy deals with every waste. We don't waste anything. We are used to the circular economy in this country, but we're just not used to it. We keep circulating the PLP and the F&M, that same waste. So now it's time now to get away from that and to do the right thing and make sure that the human people benefit from the circular economy.
Yeah.
So again, I'm going to ask you about the national debt in our country. Can our natural resources diminish our national debt?
Yeah. The only question you should ask is how quick could it do it? 1 day, 2 days, 3 days? Do we leverage the potential of fish on the world open market? We need to protect it first because everybody's coming here free for all.
Yes.
So you see, is how you deal with your resources. Instead of operating like a soup kitchen, you operate like a boss. We're so happy when someone comes to our country, direct foreign divestor, divesting. Think about it. An environment fits right in. Watch it. I told you, it fits into almost every ministry. Someone comes here and they decide they're going to get this piece of property. They're going to level it, cut down all the hill on it, sell the fill probably, and you give them all the concessions. Anyone ever checks up to see if you got the billion in concessions? I mean, sorry, if you got the billion in investment? Because they got the billion in concessions.
Wow.
Did cutting the fill alone pay off for the project? That's environment. And so if we're not serious and we don't see the value of what we have, like I could tell you right now, I'll give you $1 for that microphone. You'll do it.
I will.
I'm saying, but it's a $100 microphone.
Yeah.
And we're taught when they come and they cut down our environment, dig out trenches and canals and let the fill go, we're taught that that's our property, Crown land, and it has a value. 300 million, 100 million, right? They come and put a piece of something on it, not worth the value of what we gave away with concessions, property, and the fill, which is environment. And we start clapping. We got 600 jobs. Lost the environment because you can't put it back to what it was. Can you? No. So when we start this, the environmental impact assessment study, when you're finished and it doesn't work out, can you put it back to what it was? At what cost? Because we would have to pay that. So it's just, we need different type of negotiators. And the way it's been negotiating, it appears that the negotiators don't know how to negotiate, or they do know how to negotiate, and that's much more egregious.
In addition to that, the sequestration of our forests, of our seabeds, is way over $200 billion. Way over $200 billion. We have allowed politicians to come out and say it's fake news, it doesn't exist. Yet still they're going after $11.4 billion this week.
Wow.
Okay? They are trying now to give the Prime Minister more powers on Wednesday, okay, to deal with natural resources. I say to Bahamian people, we need to wake up. We need to know what's going on. We need to get involved. And we need to protect our natural resources as we protect our life. I tell everybody, as I see them, you know, COI or die this time. Because it's not going to be easy if we allow the PLF and MP to get back in power. Either or. But I would be in problems right now if I don't mention this. When we're dealing with Maikal and a lot of the islands, even San Salvador, you know, the Aedes aegypti mosquito is rampant in these islands.
Wow.
Okay? You're looking at Zika, at dengue, at chikungunya, all of these diseases. But yet still we have antiquated and outdated chemicals being used on these islands. Okay? If they use it at all.
That's very important.
Okay.
Tell the people what those chemicals are.
It's very important. Melatonin is one. Okay? And so what I say to this is that the COI will ensure that these people are given respect and the same urgency that we try to give to the residents in New Providence. It's been too long and it's been too hard for persons on these islands. You know what it is? You're trying to kill a mosquito, but yet still you're getting $120 in national insurance a month. If you can't kill it with your hand or your foot, you know, dog eat your lunch. So we say, you know, not only the police, you know, we're saying not only the police, not only the defense force, we're saying that every human being that reaches to the age to retire in this country, that went through this war zone called the Bahamas, they deserve to retire in dignity, especially those on the family islands.
Yes.
So we got to make sure they have a livable wage every month. Okay? Some of them are doing everything on these family islands. I know the families, and they are hurting. Okay? It's so expensive on the family islands. When we talk about our natural resources, I have to hit salt. Okay? In Inagua right now, they have the largest food store in Inagua. They produce and they get the salt from Inagua. But inside of the store, the salt is being sold for $5 for a bottle. And the New Providence is being sold for less than $2. That's like you coming into my yard, stealing my mango, and turning around and selling it back to me.
For more.
For more. So something is fundamentally wrong.
and we know what it is, the PLP and the F&M. Both of them are in the pockets of these investors, and
Yes,
for years.
yes.
They give lease after lease after lease after lease, but when it's time for the election, they go there, they're going to sit down and wait for their piece. It's wrong.
Wrong.
You know it's really a shame and almost to the point of ungodly. All of the seniors should not be taxed the way we tax them.
I agree.
And you know, the COI leader, he actually said that we're going to try and help the seniors. But see,
We're going to help them.
we should double their pension. You could fly around the world and you can't give my mother from 300 to 600 a month, but you could paint a 25-cent piece. See it? You paint a quarter, and you're getting rid of money going to digital currency. Why you paint a quarter, and how much was it? No question asked. Was this 50 cents or 10 million? That's what could have gone to the seniors or the police officers or the nurses and doctors.
The COI.
You know, no one in the United States, no president ever, no prime minister in England or Canada, anywhere in the world that I know of could paint a quarter. You tell me we're not rich? You telling me how soon we could pay off the debt? I went on TV with Clint Watson, and I'll say it again. Our debt was $10 billion, and I made the statement that we could pay off the debt in 11 days. And I had proof from the Ministry of Financial Service, Trade and Industry, and Immigration. I still have the paper. And I dare them to come and let's have a debate right here and discuss if the Bahamas does not trade $3 trillion a year and at 12% VAT, what it was when that was released, is how much? $360 billion a year. How many days in a year?
365.
It's almost $1 billion a day.
Wow.
A world-class hospital is $100 million. That's 10. 100 millions is $1 billion. So in 1 day's worth of tax, if the number's true, you could build 10 hospitals in 10 of our major islands, and tomorrow you would have another $1 billion. So you asked, how could environment pay off anything? Common sense can pay off our debt and fix the Bahamas. So you decide you want to change.
Yeah. So you're trying to tell me that the narrative that they said that we're giving to people, false hope, that we can give each Bahamian $100,000 is actually true? This is what you're saying to me.
In
It's possible.
2008, I went on More 94 with Ortland Bodie, and I said every Bahamian's worth $1 million. I now have the proof from the former minister. He put the paper out, so he's invited to come here, and let's have a talk.
This is U.S. dollars? This isn't, you know...
Listen, we don't deal with funny money in the Bahamas. We have Bahamian money that's equal to the U.S.
Yes.
Very few people have that. And you know what we need to do with environment? We need to put THE, the, back into the Bahamas.
Yes.
You see, there's only a few places in the world that have the in front of them. The United States of America, not the Canada, not the Jamaica, not the England, not the India, the Maldives, because they're special. But we look better than them when flying overhead. 2 astronauts said so. And yet we don't use their voice in any of our commercials. You see, we need a whole new mindset, and the environment affects every single... You can't come here as a direct foreign divestor and not talk to environment. We do environmental impact studies. Are they ever made where the people can see them? I think heads of agreement should be put on the table on day one. And when you're negotiating with some foreigner, that should be done on our local TV so we can watch the negotiation.
Yes.
And see how good you are at negotiating.
Well, we know how transparent the COI is and will be. But we can't depend, Bahamians, we can't depend on what's been going on for years. The TNT, I call tax and thief, will not stop. Will not stop, especially when it comes to our natural resources. It will not stop unless we get serious. Unless we get serious and put our foot down and say, guess what? Enough is enough. We have to get people, it's so serious, like I'm saying again, we have to be registered and ready to vote.
Yes.
And to vote them out. Okay? Because as you speak, my colleague, and as I speak, I always get angrier and angrier and angrier. Because, you know, I have so many kids, and I have so many kids outside of my home that depend on me to look up to me, you know, for either guidance or sometimes to even feed. You know?
That's really sad that we're at that point.
Yeah, but we've been to that point. We've been to that point. We've done it for decades, and now it's time for a new Bahamas.
Name one politician that experienced that problem.
I can't name none because guess what? They don't care. The other night I waked up, I'll give you a story. I waked up and I went across the street. For a few days I was realizing that inside my vehicle I have a Audi A8 that is partially new. It's almost like Bahama. So I was finding some clothes in my car and everything. I said, you know what, something has to be done. And I got up and I got a hammer and I said, guess what? Someone stayed in my car. When I opened the door, there was this lady and 2 kids. Okay? And 2 kids. All of this is happening in our country. My wife and I, every Christmas, you know what we do? I love to cook and I love to eat.
Me too.
What we do is, we will try and cook, fix at least 10 to 20 food packages, and we go around to the persons on the street and we feed them. You know? Today is them, today it could be me. I'm not bigger than them. Especially, you know, the level of victimization that we are accustomed to in this country. You know? I've lost contracts over contracts because I'm willing to stand. But guess what? Everyone in here, under the sound of my voice, keep your standard. Because that's all you have. You know within your heart that everything that the PLP and the FNM been doing to us will continue and even get worse. They will not change the menu. Because the slackness benefits them. You know, I always say the persons we grew up hearing that cronyism and nepotism was between family, lovers, and friends. The PLP is so expensive, they managed to add Haitians and homosexuals to the list. That's who they're doing for. That's who they're working for. I have nothing against anything, nobody preference or no other country. If you come in here legally, well, come the right way. We love you, we welcome you, and contribute. But they are out to replace you, Bahamians. They are out to replace all of us. Okay? And so if we don't protect our environment, if we don't protect our natural resources, okay, there will be no more for our children and our children's children. So this election, it matters who we choose. It matters what we do. The arguments that we are making over a plate of food and to collect, that don't make no sense. Bahamians, we need to shift and we need to start speaking out. You know? A lot of persons are making noise. Okay, this one could talk or that one could talk. But what are you doing? It's time for you to stand. Open your mouth and speak against it. Go ahead, my brother.
I give you one more observation on environment. The cruise ships used to sit in our harbor, they still do, and go down there on Potter's Key or on the bridge and look at the stuff coming out of the cruise ship exhaust. Is it blowing out to sea or blowing over the inner city? Is that cancerous? We say we have a lot of cancer. We got a list of reasons why. Now we want to put a liquid natural gas barge by the fish fry. It's cleaner fuel, but it's still toxic. But it's cheaper fuel. It's cheaper power generation. So are we going to put a barge by the fish fry to run a cable to the cruise ship so they can get more affordable electricity? In 2014, John Boswick and myself spoke in a panel at the Hilton downtown. 250 people in the room. 2014 said put that barge in the harbor if you're going to do it, but make it more power, 300 megawatt, more power than Nassau needed. We would have sold electricity to the boat, helping to pay for it. See, I like someone else to pay for it. And it would have given half-price electricity to everyone in New Providence. That was a quick fix. The long-term fix would have been put putting solar on every rooftop, paid for by carbon credits.
Wow.
We were told we were stupid, they didn't exist. They told the leader of this party he was crazy too. Now they say it exists.
Magically.
They say we have no natural resources. I need to immortalize that prime minister.
Wow.
I mean, he never had a fish or a conch.
Or bush medicine, because you're talking about upper respiratory situations and asthma. We have Cersei, we have aloe, we have so many things that are right in our backyards.
Not for long if you don't protect the environment.
It's true.
Pollute the soil and see if you could grow it.
That's true.
See, environment affects that too. It affects health. It affects a majority of ministries. It's bigger than most people believe.
Yeah. These two on this side of me chose violence today. They didn't come playing. They came with their bazookas loaded. And we can talk about this over and for a very long time, for hours and hours and hours. You can see the passion and hear the passion. But if you don't think as a Bahamian you deserve more, if you don't think when you go to the grocery store that you deserve more than that $11 that our leader so graciously divided in the 4.5 years, if you don't think you deserve more than that 500 and whatever it was, $94, then you can't blame anybody else but yourself. We've been blaming the PLP and the FNM for a very long time. Now you've been educated.
So what was it, the end figure? Was it $11? That was, so you, I like the leader of this party, our leader, because he gives you the penny.
Yes.
But if we look at $11, right? One guy offering you $11, the other guy offering you 100,000.
But they won the 11. A normal thinking person would want the 100,000, but it sounds like too much because something we've been living, begging for so many years.
How many people waiting on a government house? That's environment, by the way, because you're going to cut down all the trees and sell off all the fill and mow down a hill of our Aragonite aggregate. That's all environment to do government housing.
And I appreciate the
So
government.
how many people waiting for one of them, and how much they cost?
But look how-
half a million when they're paid for.
But look how tiny they are. It's like
No, but you know how big an acre of land is?
How many people waiting for
You
crown
know how
land?
big your house could be on an acre of land? But
It's
you won't
just-
vote for that.
because they think it's a dream because they've never had it given to them like
We've
this
been
before.
taught the servitude tiny mindset. Anyone ever heard the Bahamas is small? Insignificant? 700 islands? We have thousands of islands. We're bigger than Florida or Cuba. Who come with this tiny mindset? Why are
Tiny
we
politicians.
We've been
Yeah.
taught this.
Well, they know better. Because from the first class seat, when you go in over to Qatar, you could see how big the Bahamas is. You got a big window, you see?
It's a
We
big
an
window.
economy with a little window.
Not
and
a
we
small
really can't
one,
see
it's
how
a big
it is
one.
out there when we go into Miami. But, I make fun of it, but it's so serious. When will we do the assessment of the Bahamas? I can't tell you you're worthless. I don't know. You may have $1 million in the bank. You may have life or key property. You may, I don't know. But we've never been assessed by the people who downgrade us.
Right.
I invite them to come sit in the Ministry of Environment and let me show them how wealthy we are. When
Yeah.
they want to give me a triple B credit rating, I guess I need A+, 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 rating, 5 A+.
Plus,
Look how
plus.
rich this is.
Yeah, and for our foreign minister in ministry, we always need to understand that our natural resources is what we bargain. That's our bargaining chip. That's our power. Okay, before we being downgraded left, right, and center, these are the same countries, the big countries that are polluting. Okay, that needs us. Okay, so we need to have our lands and our sea and everything checked out, so we can know exactly what it is we have. And when we sit down with anyone and negotiate, we have the power to say, guess what? No, this is for the Bahamian people. No, you cannot come to us and say you're going to downgrade us, this and that. We have no voice.
Think of Andros alone. We got 4,000 people in South Andros, right?
Pick me.
Not to touch our mangroves in Andros.
Pick me. You
No,
pick me?
I can help you. You getting paid to stay home in Andros. Watch this. Mangroves mitigate. They take the pollution out of the air and stick it in the ground better than any other seagrass that I know of. So if we do not touch Andros, and the leader said it before, we could receive crazy money. And that money's made by Andros should go to Androsians so they can live nicely. They could have the best hospital. Anyway.
I said pick me because
Go ahead.
you have 30 seconds.
Oh, go ahead.
Each of you.
I will end with this. Just for the farmers here locally in New Providence and all through the islands, do you know at this time right now, you could be earning money from your property in terms of your farm? Okay, verify, get it verified, because guess what? Carbon comes from not only plants, but also from animals. Okay, and they won't tell you this. And you can go online and you can check it out and you can earn funds, just registered and have your property sequestered, have it checked out. Okay, we are all about empowering Bahamians. Okay, we cannot be backward anymore and saying that's what is only for the few and what we could teach and what we could carry. No, all Bahamians have to eat. All Bahamians have to be happy.
30 seconds.
You know, I'm gonna sit down with the leader, and I get quizzed a lot on this $100,000. I'm gonna sit down with the leader, and I'm gonna do a video, and I'm gonna show you very simply
Please.
how you could double that figure.
Sure.
People think it's a joke, but I don't want to do it tonight. We can do it in a separate
No,
video.
you got 30 seconds, like 20.
I only need 10 seconds.
Okay.
Changes here if you want to really fix the Bahamas.
Come on now. Come on now.
And this ministry is the premier ministry. Yes, it is. And I'm thankful for being given the opportunity, because this is the one that will lower your light bill and put money in your pocket.
We can't have free light bill like this time, for real?
I said that a long time ago.
Okay.
Carbon credits would have put the solar in your house,
Mhm.
and the hydrogen would have run the generators. You could have tidal. Right in our harbor, we have enough current to make electricity clean energy. So we're joking. This ministry is the one that's going to put money in the people's pocket with full disclosure.
Full transparency. Let's give it up for Dr. Higgs and Mr. Graham Weatherford. Listen, they could talk about this over and over. If you notice, all of our candidates are passionate about the positions they're in, and we say thank you. I am going to again invite Mr. Bain, our leader, to come and wrap up this segment. It was a wonderful time. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, everyone. Okay.
I just want to call all our shadow ministers to join us on stage. So Maria just go on the phone. You know, she always taking calls from everybody, fighting for everybody. So you'll grab Maria off the phone. Ladies and gentlemen, what you experienced tonight is the dawning of a new age.
Yes.
We are showing you that politics should no longer be about twerking and bear and chicken. It should not be about music. We did not play 1 second of music today. It was all about the information. The new Bahamian is an intellectual Bahamian. And so we presented to you qualified candidates. In the past, you've had candidates, come right on the stage, Maria, find a spot. In the past, you've had ministers who are absolutely not qualified to run the ministries they're running. And so what you're seeing is the dawning of a new era, so that our country can be functional. We presented to you a Minister of National Security who is qualified to deal with the issues of national security and immigration. You know what a man is going to do by what he has done. We are already fighting the immigration issue, and we're not even in government yet. Watch what's going to happen when we get in government. We are going to solve the crime issues in this country. We are going to solve them. Next, we presented to you a Minister of Finance who is extremely qualified, who has worked for major companies in this country and who is managing a major company right now and is a man of God. And his job is to make sure that our finances run properly and that no one puts their hand in the cookie jar. I told him, if I go near the cookie jar, lock me up. And he promised to do so. We need to get this right this time. You also heard from a lady who needs no introduction. You know her worth. You know that the COI promised you that labor, that we will fight for the people of this country. We will fight for our civil servants. We told you that you're going to think that the government is your union. We're going to make unions obsolete. Not that we want them to go nowhere, but they are going to have a friend in the government. And you know that's going to happen because you know what a man is going to do by what he's been doing. Maria has been fighting for the civil servants, risking her career and her life, coming out sick with an asthma pump to fight for the civil servants of this country, representing some of these people in court for free, fighting major battles. I was a police officer. I never knew we could get paid for overtime. They told us we had no right to get paid for overtime. Maria fought that battle and won that for police officers, along with others. But ladies and gentlemen, your new Minister of Labor and the Civil Service will fight for you. The thing about what happens now is the unions will side to get rid of the government because they're disgruntled with the government. And then the new government gets in and they start crying again immediately. All of the governments treat them badly. It's time to stop the back and forth. That cycle ain't making no sense. So if you're fighting Brave now because you think he is not doing what he's supposed to do, wasn't you fighting Minas? Aren't you going to have to fight Pintard? No, we need a new paradigm. We need people who have been there, who have done that, and who's going to fight for you. And that's what it is. We presented to you a shadow minister of foreign affairs who is adamantly qualified, extremely qualified, well-spoken, well-presented, ready to represent this country to take the Bahamas to the world. What more do you need? And so they ask, do you have people to fill all these positions? Well, that's what we're showing you, and that's what we're going to do. We also presented to you a man who needs no introduction, Graham Weatherford, who's been educating the Bahamian public on natural resources and environment for many years. You know his skills and his qualifications. And now we introduce to some of you who may not know him, Dr. Jermaine Higgs, who is certified in these areas and ready to transform our environment and our natural resources, who has a great grasp of our carbon credits, just so does Graham, and who is going to be the person responsible for maintaining the engine that's going to bring the finances to all of us. So I put my trust in them. Everyone knows I may have made the conversation of natural resources popular. We may have done so as a party, as a COI and natural resources, but we all trust people like Graham Weatherford, who has been doing the same thing for all these years. And so, ladies and gentlemen, these are our shadow ministers. This week, we're going to present more to you. So tomorrow, you're going to be introduced to some more. We're doing this all week. How many of you are going to be out here tomorrow? You ready? This is a week of vision. And we want you to continue to watch online. We want you to continue to be here in studio with us. Because this is the planning to take our country forward. And so these are shadow ministries to shadow the ministries that already exist. When the COI gets in, we're going to transform some of these ministries and create new ministries that don't exist now. But you'll see that when we get in. For example, we're going to make this thing more efficient. We're going to put education with youth. Doesn't that make more sense? Why is it youth, sports, and culture? No, we're going to put the Ministry of Education with the Ministry of Youth. This is an example. We're also going to put the Ministry of Transport with aviation and maritime. You see? Why is transport with electricity, energy? What is that? That makes no sense. That's why we're so inefficient. But when we fix these ministries properly, we can have $1 billion where you can get everything done one time, no matter what you need. And so, transport, that's the land. Aviation, that's the air. Maritime, that's the sea. Doesn't that make more sense? And the Ministry of Transport will now be responsible for your roads, not the Ministry of Works. So as the Ministry of Transport makes money, and of course road traffic will be under them also. But as the Ministry of Transport makes money from you paying for licensing your car, etc., now the money can go directly to your roads. It doesn't go to the consolidated fund and some crooked politicians who give no contracts. It goes right to what it's for. So you can get justice for money. Doesn't this make sense? Well, that's only a sampling of more that you're going to hear this week. So tomorrow, we're going to introduce you to our Shadow Minister of Health. We're going to introduce you to our Shadow Minister of Works. We're going to introduce you to our Shadow Minister of Education. All right? And so we're going to introduce you to 4 ministries tomorrow. I think I'm missing one. Yes, 4 tomorrow? Okay. And so it's going to be an amazing conversation tomorrow. All right? So let's talk some more about the big issue, the big elephant in the room, healthcare. Let's talk about that. The big elephant in the room, education. All right, I missed the Minister of Works, the Shadow Minister of Works. Let's talk about the big elephant in the room. Let's fix this country. So ladies and gentlemen, these are our qualified education. This is the first lot. Tomorrow, you're going to see 4 more. And the day after that, you're going to see 4 or 5 more. And the day after that, you're going to see some more. The reason we had to do this during the week because there was no way to get this kind of conversation by trying to bring all of them one time. And so we want to educate the Bahamian public so that they could know that there's something different you can go to. All right? So if you think that the COI is about Lincoln Bain, you're fooling yourself. There are educated Bahamians who have stepped up. One person told me, he said, yeah, sir, the PLPC, man, they can put so much stuff on Lincoln Bain, what they can't find, they can make up. Say they can destroy him. Well, go ahead. But we are an idea whose time has come. And you cannot destroy an idea whose time has come. And the idea is that we can have qualified, educated persons running this country. The idea is that we can put Bahamians first in this country. The idea is that we can own this country and economy. You cannot kill that idea because it's time. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you to our lovely hosts who did an amazing job. And ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you right here tomorrow at 8 p.m. Same time, same place. See you tomorrow.